At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. At Wesson General Contracting Incorporated, we're your one-stop shop for all your general contracting needs. So roofing, gutters, sidings, fence staining, painting, foundation problems, or roof damage are no problems at all. Give us a call at 214-200-5588. That's 214-200-5588. Wesson General Contractors, proud sponsor of the Rowlett Eagles radio broadcast.
Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
Sonny, I can't hear or see, man. Or I can't hear. Let me try to call back in.
Show. I might have had the mic off. Also, I got two mics. The setup here to get it to go over to Blog Talk Radio as well as do the videos is quite crazy. But that being said, Todd, let me know if there's any audio now. It should be up. I think I had the power button off there or the mute button on the microphone. So. Welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show for all who could not hear me. It's our Sunday morning tradition. It's week number 14 of the NFL, and boy, already week number 14 is kicked off with a bang. And a bang, a crash, boom, whatever you want to say, as the Chicago Bears got the victory against the Dallas Cowboys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All we can hear. All we can see is the Dallas Cowboys just can't get out of their own way. I swear, I picked them to win the game. And I picked them because this was a game that they should have been able to win based upon based upon my formula. As far as they were right about the same. Listen, right now, most of the talent is on that Dallas Cowboys football team. But unfortunately, guess what? That's not what ended up happening. The Chicago Bears got the victory on Thursday Night Football. And I want to tell you, and the Dallas Cowboys should be embarrassed. It is to the point where embarrassment is part of their regular thing they do. And that is not a good thing as we go on into the season. And everybody's like, well, okay. How about firing the guy? Are we going to fire the guy or not? Or whatever the case may be. But no, guys, they're not going to fire Jason Garrett. It's just not going to happen. First of all, they're still in first place. After this week, regardless what happens when the Philadelphia Eagles hit the field today, they're still going to be in first place. And by the way, the Philadelphia Eagles, they are on the road, if I'm not mistaken, or are they at home? Let's find out. Philly. Oh, no, they play on Monday Night Football at home, taking on the New York Giants. So theory says they probably should win that game, and we'll probably talk about that game as we move on. But at the same time, Philadelphia dropped the game against the Miami Dolphins last week, which is a pure embarrassment too. So the NFC East, in reality, is a full embarrassment. They can't even get out of their own way. Miami was primed to walk into that game in Miami, which, by the way, it's very hard to win in Miami. Regardless how bad that team is, if you're a good football team and you're walking into Miami to try to get a victory, sometimes that's not going to work out for you. And they've proven that they can do that and have done that. I'm going to take these out so I don't need them yet. So when you look at the grand scheme of the NFC East, you've got to ask your question, can anybody in this division of football put it together? And right now, we're just not getting it from any of them. And last week, the Eagles were primed to go ahead, get that victory, and start embarrassing the Dallas Cowboys for the rest of the season. But yet, they decide to go ahead and embarrass themselves by losing to one of the worst teams in the NFL, with them being the Miami Dolphins. So, now, when you play a team like that, you get a team that's going to pull out all the stops. They're going to pull out all the trick plays. They're going to pull out, going on fourth down that they have no business doing if they're in contention for a playoff spot. You get all that. You get those play fakes on fourth down and all that crap. Don't matter. You have to be ready for that. I am not, and you can ask Brian Tarvin. You can ask Cuervo. I'm not a fan at all of trick plays. Because to me, it shows your lack in reality of being a good football team. That you have to stoop to a trick play. Now, if you're a good football team and you decide that you're going to do it, there you go. You just have the advantage. But I hate them. The New England Patriots, sometimes they do that, and I hate it. Play up straight. Line up 11 on 11 and let's do this. But sometimes you see that trick play and it drives me absolutely crazy. But Philadelphia and Dallas and the NFC East is unbelievable. However, there's a team in the NFC East has been hot. And granted, when I say hot, it's all due respect to the teams that they played. You got to realize where they were. I'm going to go back and look at this because this thought just came to my head. This one was not one that was set up, but the Washington Redskins, they've been, playing halfway decent football as they beat Carolina last week, 29-21. The week before that, let me pull that up. The week before that, the Washington Redskins were at home. I'm almost sure they were at home. They were. And they beat the Detroit Lions 19-16. So they're on a little roll. And the week before that, let me find out where they were the week before that. Washington. There they are. They did take the loss to the New York Jets. But right now they're riding a 2-game winning streak right now. And I'm not saying be impressed, but I'm saying that you're not going to beat Washington just by showing up like you were before they had Haskins hit that football field. And by the way, guys, I'm not saying Haskins is a good football team or a football player. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to say it. But he is 2-1. and this starts. So I'm not saying be impressed, but I'm saying be aware. As the Washington Redskins are going to be taking on the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. So look out for that. Some interesting matchups here in the NFL today, and one of them just starts off, and we're going to be talking about these. I'm not going to jump into them, but games to watch today, early games. I'm telling you right now, Baltimore and Buffalo, we've talked about it. Cuervo's talked about it. I've talked about it. Is Buffalo a contender or are they a pretender? Right now, they seem to be like a contender as they got the victory last week, and they've been on a roll. So you watch that game. I think that's one that you really should watch out for and keep your eye on. Another game that I think can be a very sneaky game that's going on, the Denver Broncos will be at Houston. I know these football teams. I've watched them, and I know Houston is good, but sometimes they can really pinch a loaf on a game. I'm telling you right now. And I don't know. That's just one just to keep your eye on. There are a lot of things involved, but there's some key injuries there for Denver. It'll be real interesting to watch that one. And the game that's important for one team, but not for the other. One team's going to try to play spoiler in the Detroit Lions. They're going to be taking on Minnesota. In Minnesota, they really need to keep up the pace in that wild card, because right now, two teams that are fighting for the wild card will be Green Bay or Minnesota, depending on who wins that division. And then over in the NFC West, where the San Francisco 49ers and or the Seattle Seahawks will win that division. The other team will probably make it into the playoffs. So important game for Minnesota to keep up as far as the wild card is concerned. So keep your eye out on that one. I think that was going to be a good one. And another good early game. I don't know if you want to call it marquee or not, but the San Francisco 49ers, they are on the road taking on the New Orleans Saints. I think that one could be a really, really good one, guys. Depending on what we're going to get now, we're seeing Drew Brees get back to it. When he first came back after the injury, he had a good game and then he kind of slid off. Now he's back up on that way up. Watch out for Drew Brees and the Saints. I think they're a good football team. And then the marquee game in the afternoon, Kansas City Chiefs will be on the road taking on the New England Patriots at Gillette. It's hard to win the game at Gillette, but it is the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have really been stinking it up too. So watch out for that one. I think that those are going to be a good one. And a game on Sunday Night Football that I am sure the NFL thought was going to be much better, that being the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams are on Sunday Night Football. And then we got that crapper on Monday night as the New York Giants take on the Philadelphia Eagles. So those are the games to kind of watch in this one as far as Week 14 is concerned. And as far as where they stand, let's take a look at the standings in the NFL as we go into week number 14. Guys, really vital week as far as what you do. You got 14, 15, 16, and 17. We got 4 more weeks of the NFL. All teams are going to be in actions. The buys are behind us, so it's important for everybody to get up on there. Duck Mania, I don't know there. Steel City Storm, thanks for joining us, by the way. I always appreciate you being able to get up online. By the way, I don't have the studio up in front of me, so I have to look at it, make sure, because I've not seen Cuervo yet, but he's fashionably late usually by putting on his face and everything else. So that being said, what's the course of the name of the show, let's take a look at the standings in the NFL as they are getting hot and heavy. New England Patriots over in the AFC East have that one in control. Oh, contraire, mon frere, because the Buffalo Bills are right behind them, 1 game behind them. And normally we're looking at the New England Patriots with a 3 or 4 game lead right about this time of the season, and the Buffalo Bills are giving it a run for the money, wrapping up. I'm not going to say not officially, but they're going to make the playoffs. Regardless of what happens today in that important game against the Baltimore Ravens, I'm telling you right now, Buffalo finds a way to win that football game. That will make this division right here very much important, because if New England does slide, they have lost last week. That could be a very interesting division of football, because they both could be 9-3 if Buffalo wins and New England loses. So right there, AFC, just a little teeter, not a lot, but a little teeter. Could the Patriots be in the situation where they'll be fighting for a wild card will be the important question. Obviously, they got the tiebreaker against Buffalo so far. So over in New York at 4-8 and Miami at 3-9, really irrelevant football teams. In the AFC North right now, Baltimore, it's got that 3-game lead over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh right now still fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC. I don't think they're going to get it. Hate to tell you that Steel City Storm. I don't think they're going to get it, and I'll tell you why in a few moments. Cleveland is 5-7, 1-11 for Cincinnati. They get their first win last week. Pathetic. But that being said, pathetic for being at the record they are, and pathetic for getting the win. I forget who they played last week. It's irrelevant, whatever the case may be. AFC South, very important division of football as far as the Steelers are concerned. The Steel City Storm. And all those Pittsburgh fans. Houston right now 8-4. They have the lead. That doesn't mean that they just can't crap the bed and fall off of it and have Tennessee fall right in there, who's 7-6, by the way, slipped in front of Indianapolis as Indianapolis dropped to 6-6. So Pittsburgh right now is fighting Tennessee, quite possibly Indianapolis, but I think we're going to start seeing that go downhill. Key injuries on the Colts, I think, are going to be too much for them. And Jacksonville stinking up the joint. Yeah, I'm wearing the Jacksonville teal 4-8. So that's horrible. And I wish, but I didn't have any grand illusions that I thought that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to be able to be a good football team this year. Now over in the AFC West, a very interesting division of football again for Pittsburgh, as Kansas City's 8-4. Oakland is 6-6. Those two vying really for a playoff spot if they will be able to get it. Denver and Los Angeles both at 4-8. Definitely wanted more from the Chargers this year. We did not get that from them. And so, but will Oakland be the pretender or contender? I think they're a pretender. I think what they have done is they beat those mediocre football teams that were set up in their schedules, and they benefited from them. So we'll see where they go for the rest of the season. Now over in the NFC, over in the NFC in the East, Dallas on top 6-7. Philadelphia's 5-7. God, they could have been right there 6-7 right with them. And they stunk up the joint. Wait a second. Is that right? Hold on. That can't be right. Something is wrong with the standings I'm looking at. Someone give me an update on Philadelphia's record, because in the standings I'm looking at, they have them at 5-7, and I think that's a mistake. I think they're 6 and someone check up on that for me, because I'm going to have a hard time moving pages, and I don't want to move pages. Washington at 3-9, 2-10 for the New York Giants. Green Bay Packers in the North and the Minnesota Vikings fighting for that playoff spot right now. 9-3 are the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota is 8-4 out on the season. Chicago is trying to make a play. Got 4 more games. I'm not saying Chicago's going to win out, but if they win out, they'll be 11-5, primed to maybe get a playoff spot. It'll be interesting to see where that ends up happening. So they're still fighting for the playoff spot. Over in the South, a clincher. The New Orleans Saints go ahead. They have their division clinched and the playoff spot all set and forward, ready to go. As Tampa Bay and Carolina both at 5-7, Atlanta 3-9. Over in the West, again, the two top teams are both 10-2. Right now, Seattle holds the tiebreaker, so they're on top in that division right now, but they're 10-2. Los Angeles still theoretically fighting for it, but man, talk about a team that just really has lost it. Hasn't really put it together, and not seeing the team that we are. But again, at this time of the season, if the Rams go on a winning streak, which I don't see, but if they go on a winning streak, win the final, win out, then you got a situation where you got Los Angeles still in the fight. So they're still fighting for it. And 3-8-1 are the Arizona Cardinals. So that's the standings in the NFL as we get ready for week number 14 of the NFL. I haven't written anything down. That's how much where I'm at as far as keeping up with things, as we had a big night at SOAR Championship Wrestling last night, as I was the MC for the graduation ceremony, and also did commentary for the last 5 matches of that great card last night. Holy smoke. If you're in the Dallas area and you like, you got to get out to Sword Championship Wrestling. Not just because I'm there, just the talent's unbelievable. But that being said, that's another story in itself. Now, guys, this is what we're going to do here. As we get set in, we're still waiting for Cuervo, put it on his face, see if he'll get in or not. That part I don't know. But as we get started again, last week, we saw the Chicago Bears go ahead and get you all set and ready to go. And get the week started off with a victory over the Dallas Cowboys. And guys, just don't expect it. Everybody wants Jason Garrett to be gone. The season is done or over with. No one can walk in there right now and change this team to get it to ready to go. Now, I've heard a lot of great things about Brashard and what he is able to do, but I don't know if one person is going to be able to put together this team to get them to run for a playoff spot. Plus, I don't think Jerry Jones is going to make that move anyway. He has not extended out the contract for Jason Garrett. He will be gone at the end of the year. And if he is not, I'll say this right now. If Jason Garrett does not get fired at the end of this year, Jerry Jones is only asking for another season like he just looked at right now, where they had so many opportunities to go ahead and just dominate this whole division, especially as crappy as it is. With the talent they got on that football team, they should not be there. But that is the Dallas Cowboys. That's the ego of Dallas Cowboys. That's the ego of Jerry Jones. These guys do this. And when they do that, and they won't take the step back or make the move early enough to prevent what we're seeing. If Jerry Jones made this move 3 weeks ago, they might have a shot. But right now, it's too late. So he's dug in too much. So with the dig in, they're going to just go ahead. They're still in first place in the division. And during that time, I'll find out what's going on. As a matter of fact, I know how to do that. Give me 2 seconds. I'll go here. And what was it? Yeah. All right. Let me go to Monday Night Football. Let me push this button right here because I think the page I was looking at was incorrect. Nope, I am wrong, which is no great big deal, but it don't make any sense. I'm looking at the standings. Philadelphia 5-7, Dallas. Oh, it's because they played Thursday Night Football. It's like they don't add up. All right, so it is right. It is right. So that being said, we got to see what happens here on Monday Night Monday Night Football with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's what. Because I forgot they played on Thursday night, and I was just talking about it. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back here, guys, okay, we're going to get all set and ready to go. By the way, just let everybody know, last week we had a great time with the banners and everything. The banners are not going to be available this week as I just didn't have time to make them. Completely. And, they called me the hardest working man in sports radio for a reason. And that is because that's what I do. So that being said, I wasn't able to put together the banners with all the great stats and everything that we usually end up doing. And so don't be looking for those because we're not going to have them here this week. I might throw one up and down here every once in a while. But that being said, don't expect it through the regular show on the video side of it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back, we will dive into week number 1. We'll take a look really quick at some of the news that is out there, and we'll watch that. So we'll take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. You're listening to That Being Said. Our Sunday morning tradition continues on. We'll be back in 5.
Don't touch them. Get happy. Tell us what you love. We're your local neighborhood window covering experts who truly understand your needs. Our highly customized
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costco Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costco Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostcoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors. Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607 or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com. RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out. Check out RowlettFoods.com. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com. Liberty Air and Heat. Everybody knows what the Texas Heat can do to your air conditioning and heating systems. That's why you need the experts that deliver the best and most honest service in the Rowlett area. We provide the high-quality air conditioning and heating services that keep you more comfortable when you need it. So contact Liberty Air and Heat at 469-678-9444 or visit them on the web at libertyairandheat.com. Go custom. Get happy. Tell us what you love. We're your local neighborhood window covering experts who truly understand your needs, so we deliver the perfect solution for your home. So check out Budget Blinds of Rowlett, serving Rowlett, Wiley, Saxe, and Garland. Give them a call at 972-722-9300. Budget Blinds of Rowlett, where we listen to our customers' needs. Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook. You can take a look at our pictures and see the quality of the work that comes from K West Designs, especially if you have a special occasion. Just get on Facebook, look up K West Designs right in the search bar, contact them directly for questions or anything that you may have regarding your personal design. And welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we get ready to cover the NFL. And I didn't even during the break, I was doing the production thing as we
I try to keep track of whose picks are going where and things like that. So again, I had the Dallas Cowboys for the Thursday night football game, which was obviously a mistake. They didn't come out up on top, and that's where we are as far as that is concerned. So getting into these games this week, hope everybody holds on because there's some good ones here, and we're going to get it started here as we get set. Again, hopefully we'll get Cuervo in here fairly quickly. There is a comment right there, so I got to find out what that comment says, because it comes from 5 minutes, and he'll bring his pretty face up online, and that will be Cuervo. And so we'll be getting his takes on a lot of things that are happening as far as that is concerned. So watch out for that. It's going to be a good one. I think he is really happy. I think he's also got something in store for me as we get ready, because the Chicago Bears did get the victory. So his team, of course, all set and ready to go. And I'm sure he's got something to say to Sonny about his pick of the Dallas Cowboys. So that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. We are going to get it started as Cuervo will get in with us here and get us going. So we'll do that. Let's get started. Let's go to the first game on the rack here for week number 14. The Baltimore Ravens are on the road to take on the Buffalo Bills and let me tell you something. What a great game, because we didn't necessarily know what we were going to get from the Baltimore Ravens this year. Really, it was up in the air, and I still don't know how much I trust it. But I cannot deny that you got a football team that's playing good football. I won't go to the point to so much stupidity that I'll just say they're not a good football team. I just won't do that. But this one here, Baltimore Ravens 10-2, Buffalo Bills trying to keep up with the New England Patriots, who are one game ahead of them, who are also playing at home. Both of these two teams are looking forward to moving forward into the playoffs. I think both of these teams will make the playoffs. But I will tell you, 405 yards of offense, 36 points in winning in their previous 7 games. The Ravens right now, a little bit slow. I mean, you take a look, the 49ers kind of gave them a run. But Baltimore right now, they got that victory 20-17. So when you look at the weather and everything else, and then you have Justin Tucker's field goal, just as the time expired to get the victory. Listen, a lot of quarterbacks live that way. Getting that last-minute field goal and getting all set and ready to go. And I will tell you this. They're a good football team. Now, I still, just so that everybody knows, I don't think Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. As soon as the kid starts throwing the football on a more frequent basis and getting that 275 yards a game or more on a consistent level, then I'll call him a good quarterback. Now, he gets to utilize his talents at the quarterback position, but I still don't think he's the best quarterback that we can sit here and talk about. And that being said, I know he has had a great season, but I am not. And just so they know, this is week number 14. Sonny Clark, and I'm just going to say it right now. Lamar Jackson is not the league MVP. The league MVP is going to be a great position player. He's going to do all the things that he needs to do to win. And right now, we're not seeing it through the air. As soon as that guy puts it in there, has a season like that, and does throw for 275 yards a game on a consistent level, then I'm right there for him, and you deserve it. But using your legs is not necessary. I think it's a great talent. I think it's something that most people don't have in the NFL at the quarterback position. But you can sit there and destroy me all day long, but let me tell you something right now. I'm taking anybody that, whatever the case may be, I'm taking any quarterback that can throw the ball for more than 275 yards a game and call them the MVP before I'm calling Lamar Jackson Lamar Jackson. Just not going to do it. Now, you may think that makes me stupid or not recognizing talent. No, I see the talent. I've seen what he's done, but he's not the league MVP. He might be the league's most exciting player, but as far as MVP, I don't think so, Tim. I just don't see it. And whether or not that's good, bad, indifferent, or whatever the case may be, I'll tell you this. When he moves up, he's going to be, and when he does start throwing for the 275 yards a game, I'm going to tell you right now, that guy's going to be just unstoppable. Unstoppable. So watch out for that. But this game here, both of these defenses are unbelievable. Whether it be Baltimore, whether it be, the Buffalo Bills, they got good defenses. So I'm looking at my notes here. And, of course, it just did. Let me bring that right back. So I was going to give you some stats up on it, and I'll do that here in just a second when I bring back up my screen. It fell down. Here we go. All right. So that being said, when you're looking at the defenses here in this game, there it is. The Ravens right now, 10-2, got the run and gun going. Now, the gun is a little slow, but he can throw it. So we're going to go ahead and give him that. And the Bills 9-3, they're going to be huge. I mean, and these defenses are built, and they're so dynamic, but I don't know how much the Bills are going to be ready for a running quarterback. They're a good defense, but I don't know. And yes, I said he's not the league MVP, and you can see him kind of, on the lean side to pick the Baltimore Ravens in this game. But the Buffalo Bills are a different story. And I'm going to tell you right now, the better team is the Baltimore Ravens. But with the Bills at home and that fan base, and with some of the victories that they have pulled off this year, they go into this game thinking they can win it. And that's a total different football team. When you got a team that's going to walk into a game and pretty much know they're going to lose, a la the Dallas Cowboys, or with no chance of winning, then these games get pretty set. But these Buffalo Bills, a different story. They're trying to win. They're trying to win the division. Again, they win today and New England loses. They're tied right there. Well, New England in reality will be on top because they got the tiebreaker right now. But they'd be tied with the New England Patriots going into week number 15. That's unheard of for the last 6-7 years in this division of football. So Buffalo knows what they're playing for. Buffalo wants to dethrone. And whether or not they'll be able to get it done, that's going to be the biggest question. But I think the key guy out here is a guy who used to coach a football team that was a damn good defensive football team, and that being Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier is a guy on the defensive side of the ball who's seen it all. Whether it be, and this is a guy that regularly saw Michael Vick as a coach. And I will tell you right now, game plans, I don't know. I am sure there's stacks and stacks of game plans, and he's got different names of quarterbacks, and he just pulls out that Michael Vick thing and says, okay, let's see what we did against Michael Vick. And I'm going to tell you, I think, honestly, being at home, and you can say whatever you want, okay? When Leslie Frazier was with the Ravens, coaching that bigged up team with John Harbaugh, spent that time with Andy Reid, okay? These are guys that bring together an aggressive defense. And I think that's going to be the difference in today's game. And we can look all day long at Lamar Jackson. We can look all day long at some of the things that are going to be happening on the Buffalo Bills side of the football field, and you wouldn't be wrong. But I'm just going to tell you, I like coaches when they play players like a Lamar Jackson. Now, granted, no one's been able to stop him really in reality till now, but you can say whatever you want. Look at Baltimore and what they have done all year long. Not only that, they don't punt the football. Baltimore is a good football team on the offensive side. They get first down. 24 punts for Koch this year. 24, that's it. Man, some teams, 24 punts, they're probably through that in 5 games. He's got it for the whole season, only 24 punts. That is huge. Very rarely used kicker in the punting phase of the game. And when I saw that stat, I was like, no, that's just not right. By golly, it is right. Because you're talking about a football team in the Baltimore Ravens who is outstanding on third down. So what's going to happen here? When you think about all these games, was last week a fluke as far as Baltimore when they took on a solid defense in the 49ers? Or was it the weather that had a lot? I don't know. I don't even know what the weather forecast is up there. I probably should know that before I pick it. But right now, I'm on the Baltimore Ravens right now, or on the Buffalo Bills right now. That same type of defense that's over in San Francisco is basically the same thing, and it slowed that guy down. Now, again, I thought the weather probably had a lot to play in that one. And if there's a weather issue, I'm really on the Buffalo Bills. But because ends up happening if there's bad weather up in that area, they will definitely go to a red game, and they'll definitely be able to pinpoint and stop it. So you look at that's a big thing going into this one. So as this game goes on, and I remember a couple of years ago I was talking about John Harbaugh being adios, but I'm going to tell you right now, John Harbaugh putting it together, and I'm going to be, and I'll be straightforward and honest. And he'll lie all day long, but I honestly think that he wasn't a big fan of this guy. Because John Harbaugh is that guy, that pocket passing quarterback that knows. Now, granted, yeah, he can adjust, but I bet you when they first got him, he was like, God. But then when they didn't have a choice, what are you going to do? So you look at it. By the way, the Ravens can clinch the AFC North with a win and a Steeler loss or tie today. So that's interesting. So you can watch for that. The Buffalo Bills can clinch their second playoff spot in 3 years with a win and an Oakland loss or a tie, and an Indianapolis loss or tie and a Houston loss. God, I can't even keep up with it. I just read it. So hopefully it's squared off in there. But Buffalo's going to be set. They're going to make the playoffs. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going Buffalo in this one. I'm going to just take the home team and see what happened last week. Was it a fluke? I don't know. Was it the weather? I don't know. But I will say when you've got the possibility of elements up in that area, it could be a very interesting time out on football. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We're going to head on into our next game as we cover them all here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Next game up. Carolina Panthers in action. They go on the road to take on the Atlanta Falcons, and neither one of these teams are worth a nickel. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, until Atlanta starts winning football games on a regular basis, it's hard to pick them. And the Panthers, I don't know what you get sometime with them. So when you have Atlanta doing what they did, now I'm pulling this up. Atlanta was at home last week, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, they're probably on the road because I can't find them on that. Atlanta was at home, Thanksgiving, and they lost to the New Orleans Saints. Okay, the week before that, week number 12. When you took a look at Atlanta, they were on the road that week. I'm almost sure. Where is it? Probably wrong. There it is. They took the loss to Tampa Bay at home. 2 at-home losses. Now they're at home again, and they lose to Tampa Bay. They lose to the Saints, which is not necessarily, a bad thing. Saints are a good football team. But they did beat Carolina in their last meeting 3 weeks ago, 29-3. Why? I don't know. I remember that game, and I was asking, what is going on? Atlanta, what are you doing? You get the win. And the week before that, you beat the New Orleans Saints. Heckle and Jekyll, or Jekyll and Hyde, whatever you want to call it, Jekyll and Hyde team. That's exactly what you're getting with Atlanta. You don't know what you're getting with them. Carolina in the same stretch. Carolina sometimes can't even get out of their own way. They lost to the Washington Redskins, which, by the way, I picked at home. They lost to the Washington Redskins last week. That alone should be enough of embarrassment that they shouldn't get out on the football field. The week before that, they lost to the Saints. That's not embarrassing whatsoever. But the Atlanta Falcons, when they beat the Carolina Panthers, when Carolina was at home, now Atlanta at home, I don't know. But when you see where Carolina has been, they lost to Green Bay. They have been beat up against teams. And I hate games like this because they're hard to pick. But there's some things that I saw that I did get my notes on. Let me pull up my notes here. Here we go. My notes over here. When you take a look at this game, there's some things that you got to look for. Is Dan Quinn going to have his head into this game? I think it's a huge thing. I think that is so huge that where his mindset is, they've already got rid of Ron Rivera on the other side of the football field. After a loss here today, could Dan Quinn be gone for the rest of the season? I don't know. Run in the interim coach and see what they do. Don't fall for that. Atlanta and Arthur Blank, don't fall for it. If you fire Dan Quinn, you have 3 more weeks, and if you have the success in those 3 weeks, especially against teams that are not going to make – do not fall for it. Oh, this is going to be our next coach. Don't do it. Interim coaches are not going to get the job done. I promise you. So that's totally different. Ron Rivera, adios amigos. He ran out of chips. Old Riverboat Ron ran out of chips. And they just booted him off the steam wheel. I'm telling you right now, guys, 3-9. They've been, been eliminated from playoff contention, being the Atlanta Falcons. So Dan Quinn took the Falcons to Super Bowl in 2016, and another playoff appearance after that. But since then, we're not seeing a lot from him. So Dan Quinn is going to be a very interesting, he's going to be a very interesting look at this year as far as where the Atlanta Falcons will do at that time. So take a look at some of the things here that happened. Atlanta's, they haven't really had anything to write home to mama about in reality. But that win against Carolina was a big one. Let's be honest. Division foe, By the way, Dan Quinn has a 7-2 record against the Carolina Panthers. So look out for that. That's something to go through. Now, after the whole thing, we got to find out what's going to happen as far as coaching is concerned. Tepper is taken over. So now we got Scott Turner, who's moved up to the offensive coordinator. That whole situation, Norv Turner was taken out of the role of offensive coordinator. Okay, basically what I'm saying is Atlanta's lost. So that's going to be huge. Carolina's lost right now. So but on the other side, I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna say Turner as offensive coordinator has a better shot at calling a better game than Dirk Cotter on the other side for the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones did return to practice for the Atlanta Falcons after missing last week's game with a shoulder injury. It was the first time Jones missed the game since 2016. Why not miss a game in the season where your team is just down? I'm going to tell you right now, if they were in contention for that game, they would have had Julio Jones out on the football field. Just Just don't. So keep your eye on it. Hasn't had a touchdown since week number 3. I mean, out of all the things, the Atlanta Falcons in week number 5 should have fired Dirk Cotter, got a real offensive coordinator in there to run their football team. They might be in a better situation. Not much, I don't know, but Dirk Cotter is the problem here. Dan Quinn is a defensive mind. If his defense is out on the football field for way too long of a time, which is what has ended up happening, of course the defense is going to break. You can't even get anybody in there to run this offense. And whether it's Cam Newton, as far as him not being out, the rookie at the quarterback, that's all that stuff. And then you look at the Atlanta Falcons and you got a guy, a mainstay right there, not getting the job done in Matt Ryan. You know, just some of these things that happen just really drive me nuts. But I will tell you this. When you look at the Panthers in this game, your run defense right now is so god-awful. It's probably one of the reasons why we don't see Riverboat Ron as the coach of this football team anymore. So, I don't know. With the new defensive coordinator in Eric Washington, I don't know. What do you think? Julio's playing according to Todd that I got the update on. So, some other things. Right now, DeAndre Poe, short, injured reserve, bye-bye. Those guys right there, mainstays right there on your defensive line, they're done. Been put on IR. So, now the Panthers right now, the Panthers are giving up. I just saw this note here on my notes here. 138 yards a game. Guys, 138 yards on the ground. Never mind someone throwing the football, for God's sake. So now, when you give up that, they've also surrendered 22 touchdowns rushing. Atlanta doesn't have the worst rush game out there, and they're going to look like Hall of Famers out there. They are going to look like Hall of Famers. Let me just make sure. Now, he's not in the Cuervo said 5 minutes. Well, that's a long 5. I'm sorry. He was probably thinking woman term 5 minutes. So maybe it'll be a half hour. So we'll get him in here soon. So say whatever you want. When you're an NFL player and you got a microphone in your face, you're going to say the right things. And this is a quote it's quite funny, I thought. I think the mindset has been good. That's according to Matt Ryan. We've got a group of guys in this building that are committed to one another and committed to trying to play well for one another. Beep, beep, beep. Back it up. Man, this has been one long year, man, and we are just trying to get through it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go outside of my rule here today. I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons in this game tonight. Now, I shouldn't. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. I don't like teams who make a change because sometimes they'll create a spark for a week, maybe 2, maybe even ride it for 3 weeks. And I shouldn't take the Atlanta Falcons. And I know I should not take the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons today. Sort of like I should have known I should not have taken the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night and did anyway. But I will tell you, this game here, I think could be really interesting. I think it could be really fun. But as far as the game itself, I don't find it very interesting because of the teams that are on there. So we'll see what ends up happening. Let's head on into the next game that you're going to catch here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and it's a crapper. I mean a crapper. And one of the things I did is I actually did sit down and I took some notes on this one. I don't know why. Andy Dalton's going to get a second start after being benched. Now he's back in there. Andy Dalton leads them to their first victory. And by the way, guys, if you fall for it, that's fine. They're still not a good football team, whatever you say. But they were at home and they beat the New York Jets 22-6. And this week they get the Cleveland Browns on the road. Now, I don't know. I mean, literally, Sonny Clark had to pull out the couch potato quarter to flip on this one. And this is a pathetic game that is out there. And I will tell you that as I look at all this, I flipped it and it landed on the Buffalo Bill. It landed on the Cleveland Browns, and I was like, God, really? Let's do the best 2 out of 3. So when I flipped it again, it came up the Cincinnati Bengals side, which, by the way, was tails. Heads always home. Tails, So it's like, well, we got a tie, and I don't feel really good about it. And then I flipped it again, and then it went underneath my desk, and I couldn't reach it. But when I pulled it out, I don't know if it landed on that. I pulled it off on the ground, and by golly, it had the home team, Cleveland Browns. I'll tell you, is that some analysis for your ass right there, trying to figure out how this game was going to go? I'll tell you, 2 out of 3 coin flip. That's how pathetic this game is. Now, I like the fact that Andy Dalton got in there. And Andy Dalton, he is definitely playing in reality for his job. He is definitely playing to see what ends up happening with them. So you look at the Bengals, the whole season has been pathetic. It's a team that cannot get out. It's a team that cannot get out of the way. But I'm not saying on the other side, the other team can do it. They're both bad. They're both horrible. They're terrible. I mean, completely terrible. Yes. Charles, I heard you the first time. But by the way, hold on. Let's do this. We got some breaking news. And this could be, I don't know. Breaking news coming out of this game in Cleveland. Both these teams suck. I just did not know. I went with the coin. Now, okay. I did. All right. I took some notes. Okay. John Ross returns this week after missing 8 games with the shoulder injury. So the Bengals need a playmaker anytime they can get it. Holy cow, what is that? What is that? Somebody, he's been there, and I've been looking at a ceiling for the last 20 minutes right there. And now it looks like a turtle. No, is it Jabba the Hutt? I don't know. Who is that? Hold on. Let me do this. I'm just going to bring him in. I don't know if he wants to be in, but I'm going to bring in my brother. Oh, jeez.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Now, let me back it off a little bit. Maybe
I can't hear you. You're muted. So I can't hear you. So you're probably out and about. So that's probably the reason why. Oh, man, he should warn somebody before he gets on. Before he gets on camera. Holy smokes, that was great. Anyway. All right, so also Baker Mayfield right now, hand injury. I don't know. Will that be a problem? I don't know. I don't even know what to read into these doctor reports or anything else like that. He smashed it in the face mask against the Steelers last week. So he said he'd like to play without a glove, which tells me there's still something there. In other words, getting the grip on the ball might be a problem. So I don't know. I just really don't know. I'm just going to take the home team. Now, Andy Dalton has the capability. They're not going to get A.J. Green back, so that's going to be there. Cincinnati's defense coming off their best 3-game stretch of the season, not allowing more than 17 points a game. But that means you got to score at least 17 points a game. I don't know. And looking at the notes and Oh, there, the Battle of Ohio. The Battle of Ohio. Interesting, Freddie Kitchen. For the second time, the Battle of Ohio feature rookie coaches with Taylor matched up against Kitchens. So I don't know. Everything about this game says it sucks. And I'm just going to take its word for it. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to go into the second hour of the Couch Potato Sports Show. Thanks for joining us, by the way, for all those that are giving us a look over there right here in our studio here on the video side. And, of course, Couch Potato Sports Show. And those are out there. We should get Cuervo in here, hopefully, after the top of the hour. He's doing one or two things. Okay, he's either putting his face on or he's going to get the high and tight, maybe a combination of both. I'm not sure. We'll see what ends up happening that. But we're going to go into our break. Whoa. Hold on. Hold 1 minute. Before we do that, I'm going to ask, hey, Bryce, how you doing, man? You there, Bryce? Area code 716. Who is this? Okay, I'll put them back in the studio. I'll find out who that was. Anyway, we're going to do this. We're going to go into our break, and they got off, so I'm not sure who that was. So we're going to go into our break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. Okay, and then we'll take a look at the rest of the games here, continuing on into our second and third hour. You're listening to the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's that being said, our Sunday morning tradition is continuing on here in our 10th season, moving up on our 11th season. In February, we'll hit the 11th season. Amazing in itself. So we're going to do that. We're going to take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show.
There is nothing that beats good home-cooked barbecue. Since 1941, whether you want real Texas brisket, Virginia ham, southern pulled pork, or fall off, there is nothing that beats good home-cooked barbecue. Since 1941, whether you want real Texas brisket, Virginia ham, southern pulled pork, or fall-off-the-bone ribs, Dickey's Barbecue is the place to go. Come visit us today at 5701 President George Bush Turnpike, Suite 110 in the Target Shopping Center. For lip-smacking, rib-tickling, knee-slapping, foot-stomping, great tasting barbecue, come see us at Dickey's Barbecue today.
Landon Huey, and 19 Ministries.
One of the things we want to do is Rowlett Revival, and we know that there are a lot of hurting and broken people across the city. Bring in a guest speaker, and he's just going to share the love of Christ, and we want to connect people in the city up with churches.
So make sure you contact Landon Huey at 19 Ministries at 972-835-8665 or check them out on the web at 19ministries.org or uniterowlett.org. Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook. You can take a look at our pictures and see the quality of the work that comes from K West Designs, especially if you have a special occasion. Just get on Facebook, look up K West Designs right in the search bar, contact them directly for questions or anything that you may have regarding your personal design. Find out how Merchant Masters, DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale system, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. Or contact John Beeman, Merchant Masters, DFW, different from all the rest.
Oh, I'm back in there. Welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's me, Sonny Clark. Week number 14 of the NFL, and it's already got off with a bang again. Thursday Night Football. We saw what ends up happening. Let's go to some of the NFL news here. Cuervo's having some laptop issues. He's trying to work through those so he can get online and come on in. Maybe he'll give us a call here. Either way, we'll get it all squared away as we are here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. That being said, of course, that's the name of this show. Some news, like this is news. I don't know why it's news because listen, even before the cut of Ron Rivera, okay, even before that, all right, we were already seeing or hearing, and whether or not you believe the rumors or everything, but just common sense tells you that Cam Newton's going somewhere else. Okay, so all the thing, even the Chicago Bears are one of the names that are really, 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 let me just say that again, really being in consideration for Cam Newton's landing spot. So the once superstar Carolina, the once, oh no, this is our franchise guy, the one time guy that you can say is touchable. So that having been said, I don't know, but I will tell you this, that is a huge problem. All right, now let me see what I can do here. I need to do something because I'm going to bring Cuervo in. He's here. He's going to come here. All right. All right. I think I got this set. I think I'm ready for it as he's having laptop issues. So that being said, let me see here. Do I got everything? I just hopefully Cuervo, I'll get this to where it's not an echo. I don't think it will. I've just lost him. Come back here, Cuervo. I just had him. He was in the slideshow. Maybe he'll come back up on TV. We'll figure that out. Anyway, so the big news, Cam Newton is not a great big secret. And if you thought it was a secret, then I don't know. When a team gets rid of their coach, and their coach was the guy that had the, there was no question. I think the Carolina Panthers are looking to move on from everything. Whether it be Cam Newton, Ron Rivera, all those changes are going to be there because you got a superstar in Christian McCaffrey. You got to get something that's going to be there. So look out for that. Okay, this is a report that just came out, and I didn't see this. I don't know how much of so since he is here, we'll go ahead and do this. Push the button.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
It's Cuervo on a Sunday morning. Good morning, Cuervo. How you doing, my friend? Yo, Cuervo. I can't hear you, Cuervo. Wait.
I can barely hear you, my friend.
You can
barely. I don't know what's going on with the blog talk call, but I can barely get anything from you.
Is this better? Is this any better, boss?
Not really.
Well, I got an idea of what I can do. So let's do. Well, I think I know what I can do to make this better. Hopefully, I'm going to switch phones. So I'm going to see if that is the difference. So now, Cuervo, I want you, while I do that, so I'm going to be gone for like a minute, but you'll stay on air. All right. And actually, no, I'll stay here and then I'll just switch over a different way. But talk a little bit about what the whole situation with Cam Newton and the Chicago Bears. Now, we already know about Ron Rivera, so we also know that we're not going to have the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton on that football team quite possibly next year. And all the rage right now is Cam Newton, the Chicago Bear. And so let us know what you're hearing out of Chicago as far as that is concerned.
I mean, as of right now, said about that situation. Obviously, it's such a big thing, as I mentioned last week, it's such a big rumor or such a most talked about story just because apparently Cam has come out and publicly said that he'd be open to being traded to Chicago. Now, obviously, that talk has died down in the city just because of how well Mr. Trubisky has played. And I'll be the first to tell you, Sonny, and I'm a Bear Grylls just as much as you are. Yeah, it's just playing great. He's been playing great lately. And by the way, I do have some things to do.
Oh, I knew you would.
Against my Chicago Bears. Yeah.
I knew you would.
But yeah, but I mean, aside from that, though, he has been playing well. I think people are content. People are convinced that he's the quarterback of the future. But what I will say is that for right now, people are content with how well he's been playing the past 3 weeks or so. People have stopped talking as much about rumors of Cam Newton being traded to Chicago. It's kind of died down a little bit. So, but I'll be the first one to tell you, don't get fooled by it. I think Mitch will have, for example, next Sunday in Green Bay, don't expect Mitch out of Mitch. And I'll be the first one to tell you that. And nothing would please me more, Sonny, than for my Chicago Bears to go to Lambeau Field next Sunday and wax, the Green Bay Packers. Nothing would make me happier. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely. Do I think the Bears have a shot at winning? Absolutely, because of how well they've been playing lately. But do I think Mitch is going to go in there and look like Peyton Manning? No. As much as I would like that, the Chicago Bears. He is the second quarterback of the Chicago Bears, so he should be the one that's going to talk about it. So that's all I can say.
Well, let me ask you a question. All right, so you're the talk is, but doesn't it remind you of a guy back in the day? Is that Brian Hoyer finishes out the year on a bad year, and then all of a sudden he is sitting right there, all set and ready to go, and he sets himself up, gets the contract against teams that are no good. And I will tell you right now, that is not good. And look at who's there. It's Cuervo. Oh, the Bear. Yeah, he is the Bear fan that he is. Yeah.
Read it, Sonny.
Cuervo. That's old school Bear. I like that.
I want you to look at this very closely, Sonny. I want you to read it.
Okay.
I want everybody else to read it.
All right.
Because for all of you that picked against my Chicago Bears Thursday night, the host of the show,
me. Did I did that? This is for me.
Yeah.
There you go. Congratulations. Hey, listen though. Let's just go to that game really quick since you're here. All right. That's a game they got to win. I mean, in reality, you see the whole thing that is going on with the Chicago Bears and where they are. If you are looking forward to the future, and if Mitchell Trubisky is part of that future, you have to be able to depend upon your guy. Now, there's one thing that I saw in that game that I hadn't seen a lot so far this year is that they were moving him around. And that's something that Mitchell Trubisky can be dangerous about. So, and we haven't seen that all year in reality, because what do coaches want to do with a guy like that? Stick him in the pocket and stay in there. Sometimes in today's NFL, Cuervo, sometimes you do have to play to a guy's strength until he can actually handle becoming a pocket passer. These guys don't do exactly what a Cam Newton does. Whether Lamar Jackson over in Baltimore, these guys don't automatically become pocket passers overnight. And I think that's what the Chicago Bears were trying to do too much of in reality to get them set for this season, going in there, putting them in the pocket. But we've seen what it is, so since the talk now is how good Mitchell Trubisky is playing, what do you think the chances are for Cam Newton to go there? I know people aren't talking about it, but do you think if Mitchell Trubisky can keep up doing what he's going to do for the rest of the season, that they're going to pass up on Cam Newton?
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance that they pass up on him, just because, look, when you take on going after a guy like the Cam Newton, it's going to be expensive. Right, that's first and foremost. You have to look at the money piece of it. Number two, what message does it send to Mitch? This is a guy that they traded up to get in the draft.
Yep.
Yes, it's only one spot, but you think about everything that they gave up to get that one spot. What does that tell Mitch? And how does it change his demeanor, his attitude towards being a Chicago Bears, Sonny? Those are the things that I think about as a fan.
Right.
And number three, people know Cam's personality. People that watch football on a weekly basis like you and I, and people that are in the chat room listening to us and watching us right now know how Cam Newton can be week in and week out. And when his team is winning, you get good Cam.
Absolutely.
You get Cam. You get
absolutely.
And you get Cam that dresses normal. Right? when the team is losing, you get disgruntled Cam. You get
Grandma Cam.
Yeah, you get pouty Cam. You get crybaby Cam, and you get the guy that picked the wardrobe out of his grandmother's closet. So
Grandma Cam.
Yeah, Grandma Cam. So with that all said, is that the type of guy you want leading your franchise? And that's a question that I think not just the Chicago Bears, but 31 other teams in the league would ask themselves.
Yep.
If they are interested in pursuing Cam Newton. And I think it's fair because, again, look, attitude is everything, especially when it comes to the quarterback.
Yes.
And that, having that type of guy, it's a risk. So is it, are you willing to take on that risk? That's the question. And if the Chicago Bears are willing to take on that risk, then.
But that's not a football team. You know what? It's interesting that you say that because when you talk about risk, that's not Chicago Bears. Yeah, I mean, especially at the quarterback. Now, listen, when they went up and grabbed that dude out of Oakland, that wasn't a risk. Everybody knew what a badass he was, and everybody knew what the numbers were going to go. Okay?
Thank God for them.
Yes, no kidding. Now, when you get Cam, you get exactly what you're talking about. You don't have that guaranteed guy that's going to be that number one. He's not going to be that guy that's going to go in there and win you 10 to 12 games every single season. You're going to get the up and down Cam. And I don't think in reality, when you think about what the Chicago Bears are when it comes to that kind of thing, I don't think they take that step in Cam Newton. In fact, if they did decide to do something like that, I think they'd go after a Matt Ryan because of more of the consistency of what he can bring in that type of offense. Listen, the Chicago Bear offense is not an offense that's set for a running quarterback. They're trying to set it up that way, Cuervo, because you do have Mitchell Trubisky that can do it, but only about 25 to 30% of their offense is set in that way. If you bring in a guy like a Matt Ryan, okay, I think he's got something. I don't know. I think that's the team. Sometimes, like you said in the past on this show, Cuervo, some guys just need to be relocated. I think Matt Ryan is probably, but would I rather have Matt Ryan or Mitchell Trubisky? Well, for the years down the road, definitely Mitchell Trubisky. So the Bears have to decide, is the future now with Mitchell Trubisky, or are they going to go and say, listen, we got a pretty good chemistry right here with the team that is right here. We got a team that can actually make the playoffs and maybe quite possibly a Super Bowl. What is our biggest hole? Let's be honest, Cuervo, it is the quarterback position for the Chicago Bears.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and that's the easy target, Sonny, is, when the team is not playing so well. All right, look, last year in 13 games, the Bears were, I want to say they were
like 9-4, weren't they?
I think they were the 9-4 or 10-3. Okay, yeah. This year they're 7-6. Look, for the Chicago Bears, even as a Bear fan, as well as they did last year, I'm ecstatic about 7. Because you look at the past 10 years, right? 13 games in, normally the Bears are 5-8, 4-9. That's normally what you get from the Chicago Bears.
Normally.
7-6, I'll take it. Obviously, last year was an exception at 10-3, 9-4. I can't remember what they were. But 7-6, look, they're number 8 in the NFC playoff seed, and I know you're not in. Look,
right.
It's a shot, okay? If they go into Green Bay next Sunday and they get that win, well, I tell you, I don't see the Bears losing another game, and that includes at home against Kansas City. I think they can get it done, and I think If they beat Green Bay and Green Bay, I think they can go back home and beat the Chiefs. Yeah, I said it. I think they can beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because of the confidence level that the Bears will have at that point. Just because of how the year started out and how they lost that opening night at home against Green Bay.
Right.
Bears have revenge on their mind. Let's just be honest about it, Sonny. And
interesting enough. Hey, let's backtrack a little bit as we all know that you had the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. And let's just backtrack a little bit to get your take up on the games that we've already covered here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. A big game in Buffalo. The Baltimore Ravens come in there. Both of these teams have solid defenses. The aggressor, I think, in reality, when I've been watching them, I think the Buffalo Bills' aggressive defense is going to be there. Again, this one, that's what they invented Google for. I could probably find out what the weather is in Buffalo. But what do you think about this game as the Baltimore Ravens are heading into the Buffalo Bills to take them on? And not only that, big important game for Buffalo, Cuervo. They win, and if for some reason the New England Patriots will lose, they'll be tied, although New England has the tiebreaker right now, but they'll have the same record.
Yeah, I mean, big deal. Look, same record, but I'm going to tell you right now, the the Baltimore Ravens, are leaps and bounds a better football team than the Buffalo Bills are. So sometimes, as Bill Parcells would say, or used to say, you are what your record says you are. Not in this case. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying the Buffalo Bills. I can't do it, Sonny. I cannot buy in on the Buffalo Bills. Okay? Beat a team that's worth a damn. Okay? And everybody was all excited and going crazy about how they went into Dallas on Thanksgiving Day and handled the Dallas Cowboys. Well, since then, the Dallas Cowboys haven't done anything. So how good does that win look now 10 days later? You know what I mean? So, and it sounds like I'm talking down on my Chicago Bears. That's not the case. I'm talking down on how bad the Dallas Cowboys have been playing.
Right.
So with that all being said, I still want to see the Buffalo Bills beat a quality team. Now, if they beat Baltimore today, I may look at Buffalo totally different.
So right now, you're saying the Buffalo Bills right now are really, in reality, are a mask right now. You don't know what you're going to get until you take it off. And when you take it off against a good football team, then you'll reveal who you are. Are you a pretender? Are you a contender? That's another thing that we talk about up on this show. And I think, and I could be wrong, when you're absolutely right, because just as you said it, I pulled up the schedule of the Buffalo Bills and I looked at all the wins against the Jets, Giants, Cincinnati Bengals. Tennessee Titans was, when they weren't being put together, but still not a great football team. Miami, Washington, they're coming around a little bit, but still not a good football team. Miami, Denver, and then of course the last game against the Dallas Cowboys. The three losses that they got. So the New England Patriots is one of them, but the other two, they lost to Philadelphia and Cleveland. This team, in reality, when you look at them, is a Jekyll and Hyde, But here's the thing, Cuervo, we talked about it on this show all the time. They can only play who's on the schedule. If they're not on the schedule, I mean, really, when you looked at that schedule, there was only really one football team that was out of sight. Maybe if you want to thought Philadelphia was going to be a good football team, go ahead and do so. By the time they reached Cleveland, everybody knew they sucked. There was nobody really on the schedule until what does the NFL do, Cuervo? They crush dreams. The NFL crushes dreams, and that's what they're going to do with the Buffalo Bills, because if they bid. Now, I picked Buffalo there's something about this team at home scares me, and the aggressive defense against, but they got Pittsburgh and New England, and then they finish with the Jets, and that's not a gimme game. That's right there in the division game, week 17. The NFL has a way of bringing you, it's a come to Jesus situation, and we'll find out. Now, do I think the Buffalo Bills will win and make or get into the playoffs? Yes, they are only one game really away from that in reality. And I'm sure that they'll get it from the Jets. But until they get to the Jets, that one game that will elude them from getting into the playoffs, it's in jeopardy in reality. It starts this week, although I'm taking a flyer on them. I'm going to find out if they're for real. I'm going to see if their home field advantage has something to do with that and the aggressive nature of that. By the way, I checked the weather. Beautiful. It's 40 degrees. It's 40 degrees. No big deal. It's football weather. So Lamar Jackson, in that mess that he was in with San Francisco, where they barely inked out a victory against the 49ers last week, it's not an issue. And that is an interesting point in this game too, Cuervo. Okay, if Lamar Jackson can get the job done against a quote-unquote quality team right there in Buffalo in crunch time. He's beat quality teams, but this is crunch time. This is December, and the NFL is December.
Yes, it is, Sonny. Between the three of us, to include Brian Tarvin, who's listening right now on Facebook Live, appreciate you, buddy. Everything after Thanksgiving is when the real season starts.
Absolutely.
Going in the playoffs. So, again, we'll see. Is Buffalo for real? If they can, even if they compete against Baltimore, I think they will. But if they can squeak out a win, that's, like I said, maybe I'll think a little different about the Buffalo Bills. But,
so you're on Baltimore then?
I am on Baltimore just because of how much I believe in the team. Okay,
right.
Let me get this straight. I'm not a Lamar Jackson hater. But Lamar Jackson is not the sole reason the Baltimore Ravens are so damn good. Okay, he's a big part of it. Don't get me wrong. He's a huge part of it. Mark Ingram is having one of the best years of his career. You can debate me on that one. Okay. The defense has overachieved. Okay. And I really didn't expect a whole lot from this defense because of the losses that they had personnel-wise. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it, and that's all that matters. So the defense is playing outstanding. Look, they traded for Marcus Peters. That was a great trade. Great trade for them because the guy's been playing lights out for them. Earl Thomas is, and I said, you can go back to the show in August. You asked me, and I still remember, what kind of impact will Earl Thomas have on this Baltimore Ravens team? And I told you verbatim, little to none. And it's been more little than it has none. He has contributed. Is he the Pro Bowler like he was in Seattle when he was part of the Legion of Bungholes, as you like to say? No, he's not on that level. But he has been consistent. He makes plays when Baltimore needs them. Mm-hmm. And in reality, that's all you can really ask for.
Yep.
You fill that void losing Eric Weddle. And, the linebackers are playing a lot better than I expected. So, look, Sonny, it's not just Lamar Jackson. So, Lamar Jackson for MVP, all this other nonsense. Let's calm down, okay?
Yeah, let's slow down a little bit, definitely. Again, I said I don't know. Did you hear any of the show until you got in?
I did not.
You almost said what I said. I mean, in reality, great minds think alike. But, I almost said exactly what I said. But I went as far as that he's not the MVP until he starts throwing the football. Now, granted, he's using his talents. He's using his skills in order to help him get wins. Congratulations. But MVPs throw the football. MVPs throw the football for 275 yards and more. I don't care how much. I don't care if he breaks all the records running shit in the football. quarterbacks don't run the football, period. You can sit there and argue with me all day long, but if you look at the greats and the greats that ran the football, Randall Cunningham, oh, God, I love him. Okay. All right. Love me some Randall Cunningham, and if you don't, you're nuts. Michael Vick, all these guys, they are not top 20 quarterbacks, in there. I don't even, hell, they might not even be top 30. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you right now, those are not the guys that are successful. Those are not the guys that are consistently going to bring you victories in playoff games and things of that sort. They just won't. And you can sit there and argue with me all day that the NFL is changing until it changes, and I see it more on a regular basis, then I will agree with it. Until then, pocket passers are the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and they are the ones that win the MVPs, not running quarterbacks. It's just a fact. And all you got to do is go back and say, when was the last time we saw it? We saw Cam Newton win the MVP. Have we seen him since? Of course not. So, let's go up on that and slow down on him being the MVP. Now, really quick, the Atlanta Falcons, they are home taking on Carolina. Changing of the guards over there as far as Carolina is concerned. Adios, River Run. He's ran out of gambling money, so he's out of there. There you go. They kicked him off the Steamboat Cuervo. I don't know what type of team that we're going to get with Carolina taking on Atlanta. I went against my rule, Cuervo, which was until Atlanta wins 2 games in a row, I'm not going to pick them. I'm picking them today. I'm going against that rule just because of the shakeup. Now, granted, they may be able to bring in that guy. I forget his name, Tepper, I think it is. They're bringing him in. Maybe he can change the mentality of this football team, but you know what? They still got to win a game, and I don't know if they got enough. I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Christian McCaffrey today, but I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you're definitely getting a lot of McCaffrey. I mean, we've been getting a lot of McCaffrey all season, and that's why he's an MVP candidate. The kid's a monster.
Yep.
But look, I don't know what happened to the Falcons. It seemed like they were doing something right, and they were winning some games, and all of a sudden they just crapped the bed. I don't know what happened to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if reality hit them.
Cotter. The spirit of Dirk Cotter, and finally caught up, and they were, oh yeah, that's right, we're playing against Dirk Cotter. We know what's coming. Someone just crapped the bed and forgot they were playing Dirk Cotter, and they knew what was coming their way. That's what happened.
Yeah, and you're probably right. At least he had a good month. At least he earned his paycheck for a month, But look, I don't see Atlanta. I mean, based on their schedule, unless they play a cupcake team, I don't see Atlanta winning another game. They might as well just call the season and get ready for next year. So,
but it's Carolina though, Cuervo, new coach Carolina. You're gonna ride with the Panthers today.
So here's the interesting thing. So every time we talk about a team that's starting a quarterback for the first time, or a team that has their head coach for the first game, you think it's just going to be a disaster, right? Well, here's the problem. Lately, the trend has been the total opposite, and it's the unknown factor, and that's why I'm going with Brian Tarvin's Carolina Panthers today.
Carolina.
Because you look at the new who's the new coach now? I can't remember who.
I think his name is Tepper, if I'm not wrong. I think. I've never heard of him. That's not to say that he can't come in an interim basis and be a good choice until the end of the season. So I'm not downing that. But if they grabbed this guy up and said he's our future, I'd say whoa, beep, 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 back this up, because that's not a great idea.
Yeah, but here, I mean, regardless of who the coach is, okay, here's the problem: the Atlanta Falcons don't know the strategy, I guess it would be the word I can use, of the new head coach.
Right.
And so when you don't know the strategy, you can't game plan.
Good point.
So the Atlanta Falcons are going into this game blindfolded. They can't see anything. So
they're blind. They're blind when the blindfold's off. So there you go. You're absolutely right, Cuervo. I see what you're talking about. So that'll lead us to the other game that we're talking about before we got you online. That, of course, being the toilet bowl. You want to talk about a toilet bowl? I'll tell you. There. Chuck is out there talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. I flipped the couch potato quarter one time. It came up on the Cleveland side. I was like, let's do the best out of three. I don't want to pick them. Flipped it, and sure enough, it came on Cincinnati side. Then I flipped it the third time to break the tie. It didn't land in my hand. I had to crawl underneath my desk and pull it out, and it came up on Cleveland, and I still didn't like the pick. I don't like either one of them. I can make a reason why not to pick either one of these teams to win this game. So I just went home team in reality, and of course the couch potato quarter underneath the desk.
Well, I don't need a coin for this one, Sonny. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns, just simply because I think they're the better team. Sort of.
Huh?
Okay, hold on. I have a better way of putting it. If it's the toilet bowl, Sonny, if this is the toilet bowl, Cleveland's toilet is a little cleaner than Cincinnati.
Well, that's a good point. Okay.
Really?
Really? Wait, really? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. We can talk about this one all day long. It don't matter. It's a horrible game, and it don't matter. But you are going Cleveland Browns too. All right, so that leads us to where we're at. And hey, this is Cuervo. We got an interesting game going on here. So let's head into this one before we go into. We'll probably get two before we go into our break, and then we're gonna crash it for the last hour. The Denver Broncos. An interesting game today against the Houston Texans. Houston's at home. Houston did what they did to New England. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Standing to put yourself in a position. But they got the Tennessee Titans biting the ass, man. I'm telling you right now, this division of football is not done because the Tennessee Titans are going to try to go and do what they do, and which is create a miracle. And they have Oakland in the afternoon. They're on the road, though, in that one, so it's a little bit different. Houston needs this football game. I'm telling you right now, they need this football game because if Tennessee gets the victory, it's going to make a very interesting AFC South as far as the standings are concerned. You're going to both see them locked up with 8 wins. So that being said, Houston needs this game against Denver. And I question sometimes. I mean, because in reality, when you looked at last week, Cuervo, nobody expected. Really, in reality, should Houston win this game? I picked them. I just took a flyer on them. But in reality, we all knew who the better football team is. Okay? So the fact if they lost that football game, it wouldn't have mattered. Now they got one up on it. And that was a good thing. They got a one up on a game that they probably shouldn't have won. All right, so they could be in the situation right now, knotted up with Tennessee right now. They're not. They got that one game. The question is, will they crap the bed on a comeback game after a game against New England? And something tells me, and there's no method to my thinking on this one. It was almost as bad as me taking the Houston Texans to beat the New England Patriots last week when I did. I'm getting the same feeling about Denver today, Cuervo, because Houston has not a team to grab them up and win games when they have to. This is actually almost a must win if they want to continue and maybe win the AFC South. This one's going to be an important one for them in the standings because of what Houston did with New England. If they get a victory against Denver, they wrap this thing up, I think, in reality. But these type of games, we see Houston's drop the ball, and I just don't trust them. That's what it is, Cuervo. I don't trust them to be a good football team, and they're a classic example of playing down to the competition, and that's what I think is going to happen today. My flyer this week is Denver Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. Now, obviously, we know which team is the better football team, Cuervo, but something tells me that game last week, they might get too big of a head and they might drop the ball today. And that's the only reason why I'm picking them. Not because I know which one's the better football team, Cuervo. We all know Houston's a better football team. But let's see where they are mentally. Are they mental midgets? Or are they a team that's going to go out there and just tear it up? And I just don't think we're going to see it. Letdown game.
Well, I mean, I will say this, okay? And people are going to try to make a big deal about this whole Odell Beckham situation. For those who don't know, this past week,
sports hernia, right?
Say that again, Sonny?
Odell has a sports hernia, right? I think I saw that somewhere. It flashed across a page.
No. I'm talking about some comments that were made about Odell not being happy in Cleveland, something along the lines of that. And he came out.
Surprise.
Yeah, and he came out and he made it clear. He said, not once have I ever said that I wasn't happy in Cleveland. Maybe he's not happy with the season they're having because of, their chances of making the playoffs are slim. But that doesn't mean he's not happy being a Cleveland Brown. Look, and I get it. The Cleveland Browns that we have all, learned to know or have seen over the past 10, 20 years, the punchline is every joke, right?
Right.
Well, John Dorsey, the GM, has come in and really made a huge effort to totally change the culture, the attitude, the mentality in Cleveland. And it's not quite where I think he wants it to be. But I tell you, the Cleveland Browns have at times been competitive this year. They have. And
okay.
So
let me ask you this, and I don't know if maybe you misheard me or you're trying to swing around a point. I had you on Cleveland. I kind of moved to the Denver-Houston game. I don't know if you heard. Are you wrapping something or to this game? And I'm asking because I'm lost on where you're at.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just. I guess I was just, still wrapping up some thought. By the way, I'm taking Houston. Like, I really don't have anything to say about that game. I'm going Houston, just because of you look at how they beat New England last week, and I think now the Texans probably feel like they can't be stopped. Deshaun Watson.
They should. Cuervo.
You beat New England. You're only the second team to do it this year.
Yep.
So why not? Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Sonny. If this game was in Denver, I might just take the Broncos. But this game is in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to ride with the Texans. But the Texans need to be very careful because this can also backfire on them. Having such a huge win last week against the Patriots, it's like we always talk about. This is the typical definition of a letdown game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's it has the makings of it, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I think Houston will win. Now, it's going to be a close game. I think Denver will compete. But I still think the Texans will get it done.
Yeah.
Do I need a loss? Do I need to get out and come back in?
Well, I think that's what we'll do. What we'll do then is we'll have you bounce out and come back in, and that's why I was asking a couple of weeks ago if you were on if you had the Ethernet connection or if you're doing wireless. Sometimes wireless will do that break up. So if you go back out and close down a window, open up a new window, and try to come in, that's the better way to see if it can make the connection and get it all squared. So that's what we'll do. We'll take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And we did recognize that on Blog Talk, it's coming through just fine, just so everybody knows. But on the video, it is cracking a little bit. bit. So we're going to do that. We're going to take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Let Cuervo get reset and see if we can get a better connection as far as his mic is concerned. And then we'll go with that. So quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. You are listening to That Being Said. Our Sunday morning tradition continues on. We'll be back.
Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costco Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costco Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostcoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
Are you looking for a new home? Want to know what your house could sell for in today's market? Then you need to contact Realtor Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Rockwall. Whether you're buying, selling, leasing, or investing, he can help you get where you need to be. That's 214-236-2914. Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Rockwall. At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. At Wesson General Contracting Incorporated, we're your one-stop shop for all your general contracting needs. So roofing, gutters, sidings, fence staining, painting, foundation problems, or roof damage are no problems at all. Give us a call at 214-200-5588. That's 214-200-5588. Wesson General Contractors, proud sponsor of the Rowlett Eagles radio broadcast. At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement failed to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com. Liberty Air and Heat. Everybody knows what the Texas Heat can do to your air conditioning and heating systems. That's why you need the experts that deliver the best and most honest service in the Rowlett area. We provide the high-quality air conditioning and heating services that keep you more comfortable when you need it. So contact Liberty Air and Heat at 469-678-9444 or visit them on the web at libertyairandheat.com. Find out how Merchant Masters DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale system, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. Or contact John Beeman, Merchant Masters DFW, different from all the rest.
The coffee pot on. Yes, it is fresh.
All right, we are back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Cuervo trying to go ahead and make a connection, a little bit better connection to try to get back in. Welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It's week number 14 of the NFL, and the news is hot and heavy. And, of course, we're getting at the time of the year where a lot of things that are going on. Now, Cuervo was talking about Odell Beckham Jr. supposedly some people saying that he's not happy. He says he's never said anything like that. But right now, one of the reasons why we might not be seeing the best of Odell Beckham, he's been fighting with a sports hernia injury all season long. That's according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. If that's the case, that is, serious. I don't know if you want to use it. Some people might want to say, it sounds like an excuse. And, would that be there? It could be. It just depends on what you think about Odell Beckham. Now, when Odell Beckham decided that all this was done and when he got traded and everything, I thought it was going to be great for him. I really did. But at the same time, if he didn't get what he wanted, that was going to be a huge problem. So whether or not that this sports hernia injury is real or not is going to be a big question for the rest of the season. And when they go into next season, how is he going to react to it? That's the biggest thing as far as Odell Beckham is concerned. There won't be any excuses regarding injury come next year. So that's huge. Number two, when you're Odell Beckham and you've got the diva attitude that everybody thinks you have, because guess what? If everybody really kind of thinks you do, you do. I mean, really? I mean, come on. I mean, if you don't think Odell Beckham is a diva, I can't help you. I mean, if you can't see the obvious, I can't help you. It's almost like telling someone who's got a drug addict or a drug problem, telling them that they're a drug addict and they just can't see it. You got a massive, love affair for Odell Beckham Jr., and that's fine. I get it all day long. So that is huge. But I will tell you some of the big news that's coming out, and this is regarding Monday Night Football, guys. There is a huge piece of news coming out which kind of scares me. And it scares me because I know what they're doing. And it's actually sad. So let's go to that game really quick. The news is we are going to see Eli Manning at the quarterback position on Monday Night Football. I'm reading the report right now, and I'm shocked. I saw this last night, and I thought maybe I thought it was on an Onion or something, that Onion webpage. New York Giants are going to go ahead and start Eli Manning against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't know if that means anything. We're going to talk about that game. And that is huge news going there whatsoever. So watch out for that. By the way, Jerry Jones, right here for my locals. If you heard the radio interview, they had to bleep Jerry Jones. Okay? It's classic. That is what you want, guys. You want to talk about a show that never gives it. Jerry Jones getting bleeped is fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love it. It cracked me up when I heard it, and I'll tell you right now, that's must-see TV. Well, or must-see or must-listen radio, because that one's crazy. I thought it was a great story, made me laugh. Hopefully, let me check and see if Cuervo is back into the studio. I don't see him there yet. He is having connection problems. I know what will help him. We got to get him an Ethernet card from his modem, because his signal probably from the wireless is not great there. So we'll get him set, and next week we'll get him an Ethernet cord and get him connected directly to his computer. It'll sound much better. Hopefully we'll get him back, but we can't wait because we got more games. We got a lot of games to cover, and I will talk about some of the notes, but I will also just go with my picks, just some thoughts, probably more so than notes, because sometimes if we got a chance to break them down, we'll break them down. So when we do that is we want to talk about a game. There's something about a game that we want to get out there so you guys can think about. So that being said, let's head into the next game here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It brings together a team where the NFC North going to be a very interesting division of football. NFC North is definitely interesting, not because the Lions are in contention, but the Vikings are still battling to try to win this division over the Green Bay Packers. Now, you're looking at this. The good thing is this game's in Minnesota. Because, man, I'm going to tell you, and don't get me wrong, I realize that the Lions have only won 3 games this year. But Matthew Stafford's probably not going to make the start. So we're going to have David Blah in there. We saw some glimpses of a guy that's good, but he is a rookie and he's going to tend to make those mistakes. I don't have a lot to say about this game because obviously the best team is Minnesota, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is a game where you have to see Kirk Cousins come alive. If we don't get Kirk Cousins back to being Kirk Cousins, okay, that was an oxymoron, okay? Because we don't know what we're going to get from Kirk Cousins. We just need to know if we're going to get a Kirk Cousins that is going to win a football game. That is it. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that. Should we get it? Yeah. But as much money as he's making, yeah, we should. But Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. I mean, so when I say we need to go back to the Kirk Cousins has never been a quarterback that can do anything or anybody feared. And that's the problem. So when you say that, Cuervo, I'm going to go ahead and bring him on back in. There he is. Hopefully, how you sound there, Cuervo?
I don't know, Sonny. You tell me. How do I sound?
No, I don't have you at all. Speak. Oh, wait. Hold on. I have to put on my earphones so I can hear. Oh, Cuervo. All right.
Help.
Yeah, I got you, Cuervo. At least you're not cracking. So, and
okay,
what we'll do, you and me, we'll go through your computer. I know what changes you need to make so we can hear you fine, but we're gonna turn your microphone up for next week's show, and we'll get that all squared. It's a settings thing, and I know how to get to it because I mess with these things all day long. So, but I can hear you very well. An interesting game, Detroit and Minnesota. I mean, we don't get a Kirk Cousins because I'll just say it. I don't believe he's a great quarterback. Never thought he was and everything else. And he was never good to where he had to go back to being a Kirk Cousins that was great. We just never know what we're going to get with Kirk Cousins. But this is a game Minnesota really does need to stay right there in the north. And the Detroit Lions right now playing spoiler, we're not going to get Matthew Stafford's fifth weekend, and we're going to get that rookie David Blah, who didn't really play all that bad last week, Cuervo. But even if it is Kirk Cousins, and I hate to try to give the guy credit, it is Kirk Cousins. He is a better quarterback, and right now, in this game, I think we need to see Kirk Cousins make a statement. This is a game that he needs to do it in because it is a 3-9 football team. He needs to come out and tear these guys a new one. And I just don't think they are. I think the Lions are going to be in it until the end, which I don't even know what the line is. I don't even care. I just know Kirk Cousins, and I know how it is. And this is the way it happens almost every single time he's up against a football team that really, if you think about it, with the talent from the Minnesota Vikings, they have no business being in a game with in reality.
I do have one question though, Sonny. Is this game in Detroit?
It's in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Very well. I don't give the Lions much of a chance then. Look, it sounds like a stupid reason, but Vikings at home are tough. They're so tough to beat.
It's a
even with and how well Dalvin Cook is running the football.
That's a good point too.
I mean, he's probably, I'm just going to say it, Sonny. He's the best running back this year.
Oh,
he
I
has
agree.
been the best running back in the game.
I agree. I don't think anybody shakes a stick at him on a consistent level. And that's what it's the difference between him and some of the other ones that you want to talk about who are good. Consistently, he's been doing it all year long.
Yeah, he has. And that's what makes the Minnesota Vikings so dangerous because – we can clown on Kirk Cousins all we want and talk about his guaranteed $84 million and
yes,
he's not worth it and all this other stuff. But at this point, number one, he doesn't have to play like an $84 million quarterback because of how well they run the football. And number two, the Minnesota Vikings are very deep in the playoff run. They're in great position to make it. So with all that said, I mean, Kirk Cousins has played well. He's not playing great. He's not playing lights out. He's not an MVP candidate.
Yep.
But you have to give the guy some credit. He has been, playing.
Do we have to?
Well, we don't have to, but look, in today's game, when teams are playing well, who gets the credit? Coach and quarterback.
Absolutely.
Coach and quarterback, that's who gets the credit. So, hey, Mike Zimmer's a hell of a coach, right? I mean,
hell of a coach.
Put it. But
hell of a coach. He is. He's great. But I like him. I don't want to. I like him. Okay, but. He needs an offensive coordinator that can figure out what Kirk Cousins does best. This offense goes around the offensive coordinator. It has nothing to do with Zimmer at all. So that whole situation, as far as Minnesota is concerned, depending on what they do for their future, whether it's Kirk Cousins or somebody else, they need to have a quality offensive coordinator in there because yes. He's a defensive guru, knows what's coming. Doesn't mean that he can run an offense. He can definitely stop it. There's no question. And that's the reason why he's the coach there. He's not because he's some offensive juggernaut mind that will put teams out of their misery because he knows defenses. No, I think he needs a lot of help. So, listen, the record is what it is, Cuervo. You can't argue it. They're playing well. Really, in reality, we both know what this team rides on. They either ride with Kirk Cousins or they lose by Kirk Cousins, and that's what's going to end up happening as far as their season is concerned. Has nothing to do with anything else in reality. But Dalvin Cook is a badass. There is no question about that. And he's going to be the reason why they're going to stay in games if they start getting behind. It won't be because Kirk Cousins is going to be that offensive juggernaut and get the ball down the field, it's going to be because of Delvin Cook, without question.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, and, he's a big part of why the defense plays at such a high level, and it's because of Mike Zimmer. I mean, you look at his background. I mean, it's defensive heavy. I mean, some of the best, for example, I mean, some of the best Cincinnati Bengal defenses that we've seen in recent memory was the work of Mike Zimmer.
Yes.
Before he became the head coach in Minnesota. So that's his background. That's what he's known for. So he has a lot of respect on the defensive side. Lot of respect. So that is definitely something that, as long as he's the head coach, that the defense will always play at a high level. Obviously, the day of the offense is different, but it's almost like a box of chocolates, as you like to say. Absolutely. You never know what you're going to get. But this year,
I know who Kirk Cousins is, Jenny. I know.
There you go.
I know.
There you go. So, but I think this year, something that Viking fans haven't seen in a while is a strong running game.
Absolutely.
And you got that with Dalvin Cook this year. So Minnesota's on all cylinders right now, I think, as a football team. I mean, I know they're only 9-4 or whatever their record is. 8-4, but like I said, they're in a great position as far as the playoffs.
You betcha, and it should be really interesting to see how they go. You're on Minnesota, I'm on Minnesota, everybody's on Minnesota on this one. It's the right pick in reality, so there you go. That being said, of course, that's the name of this show. That takes us into our next game, but in reality, Cuervo, before we get to the next game, we got. I'm gonna push this button because it may not be breaking, but it is news. Monday Night Football, big news coming out of New York. We're gonna see Eli Manning again. And no, so we're gonna skip the Monday night because let's get this out of the way. This changes the perspective of this game, Cuervo. It changes the perspective. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win, but I think they will be in a better position. But let's be honest, okay? I like what we're going to get from Jones. He's the future. This guy just needs more time. There's no question. Now, granted, you should think the guy should just go on for the rest of the season, but I think the Giants are trying to make. A statement, not because of anything of trying to win games. It's because they want to get some kind of value that they can put out on the football field with Eli Manning to see what they can get back. This is a move to make the value of a quarterback who is washed up better than what it is. And if he goes out there and does fairly well for the rest of this season, guess what? That's just going to move them up in the match and see if they can maybe get instead of a 5th rounder, maybe a 4th rounder. In reality, for an Eli Manning, if that's the rate that they're going to go. I'm not sure what his contract situation is, if he's under contract next year. I think he is. And this, to me, that's all this is. It's an audition for teams that have a quarterback issue that someone understand that there's a chance for Eli Manning to come in and do something for their football team.
Sonny, I don't know if maybe I'm misunderstanding. My understanding is that Eli is starting because Daniel Jones has an injury that's keeping him out of this game. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. I just saw that it was there. But here's the thing. He finished that game. I mean, I don't know. I'll find that out, Cuervo, but there's something about that story that doesn't sit well with me, because if he is not quote unquote injured for this game, Cuervo, there should be no reason why Jones is in this lineup except for that. Here it is. Here it is. All right. He has been officially ruled out, that being Jones. Let me come back. It lined up here. So after the loss against the Buffalo Bills, that decision was made after the loss. Now, I don't know if it was because of the injury. What's the injury? Do you know what it is, Cuervo?
I want to say it
sprained ankle, high ankle sprain. Yep. Now,
Yeah.
Listen, he's done for the rest of the year. If that's real, Cuervo, he's done for the rest of the year. High ankle sprain. Hey, look, we haven't seen AJ Green all year long. Okay, all right.
There you
So,
go.
and I'm going to tell you what's happening with the high ankle sprains. Okay, for some reason they're getting more severe because I sit and listen to these guys say, "Well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring him back in 6 weeks." Well, that's not a high ankle sprain in reality. That's an ankle sprain because that's going to at least leave you out for 6 weeks. Now, Cuervo, hate to do this to you. Okay. We are going to do a backup here really quick because there's a game that we need to talk about because we're going to bring in a special guest as he finally figured out how to do it. So let's bring him on in. It's Bryce. How you doing, Bryce? It's good to see you. Look at that handsome man right there. Watch out. Man, we got 2 shades of ugly on the top and a handsome gentleman on the bottom. How you doing, man?
Guys, what is going on? It's good to see your smiling faces today. Yeah. We're ready for some football. Cuervo, so you got the Bears shirt.
Yeah.
Representing after that big
representing old school.
After that big Thursday win, I got my 412 shirt on representing Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we're ready to go today.
So
out to Arizona.
Yeah, let's jump to that. Arizona is actually, so we're going to jump to that game. We'll get back to Monday Night Football in a second and complete those thoughts. But I don't know, Bryce, how long do you have here today?
I got a little bit.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's just jump to that game then. Let's talk about Pittsburgh at Arizona. I thought Arizona was on the road. I was back that up. They're in Arizona. I mean, how confident are you feeling about the Steelers starting to duck? I mean, Steel City Storm is a guy right in your area, loves him. The Duck is, everybody's got a mad love affair with what's going on with the Duck right now. Talk a little bit about what you're hearing in that area. Obviously, you keep up with that area, even though you're over in New York, if I'm not mistaken. But I think you're listening to Pittsburgh radio because it's got that mad love. You only get that mad love when you're a homer. I mean, when you really root for a team. So what are you hearing about the situation with the Duck over there?
Well, listen, first of all, sometimes I do listen to Pittsburgh radio. I listen to some guys online, read some blogs, some good stuff out there. So, that's always good. Here's the thing. This is an interesting game. Normally, Tomlin and Sonny, I know you'll love to hear this. I'll give credence to what you say. These are games that Tomlin over the years has definitely lost.
Yes.
These 3-8 teams, these 7 teams, however, this is a little different. I don't know if you can take a team lightly when, again, you started off 1-4. Absolutely. And you're basically, even though you've done a great job of sustaining and climbing your way out of it, but you're not out of it all the way. I mean, this is going to be a rat race to the end in terms of the playoffs. So definitely. I'm not sure you're going to be taking people lightly, particularly when you're now more of a defensive team with really good players that, Pittsburgh's got to win games 20-10. That's their identity. So I think they know they've got to play well because of Kyler Murray. And I think the offensive line knows, listen, they may not be, that defense may not be great, but at the same time, matchup-wise, Terrell Suggs, Chandler Jones, that's almost 20-some-odd sacks right there. So if you don't block those guys and you start out slow, you could have a problem. So I think Pittsburgh will be ready to play. I'm excited to see what Duck will do.
Well, I'm excited about that, but on the other side, Cuervo, you got a quarterback coming in there, Kyler Murray. Listen, all you got to do is look at the record and know what they are as a football team. But the Kyler Murray effect on defenses sometimes, I think, really does put a team at a disadvantage, regardless how much film that you see on him, because it just depends. And we can talk about this on Lamar Jackson as well. If Kyler Murray does decide to throw the football, I'm not saying he's better than Lamar Jackson. They're the same guy in reality. Lamar's just a little bit better. But if you look at it, Kyler Murray's a little bit better with his arm than Lamar Jackson. We've seen that all year long, Cuervo. So when you got a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they crunch down on him, where do you think the game is going to go? I mean, because in reality, when you're going to beat the Arizona Cardinals, their defense is not all that great. And if you stop Kyler Murray, I mean, you just almost put a check mark underneath the W before you even get started in reality, because people know what's going to be coming at them.
Yeah, and I think that is the case when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals. Look, the David Johnson goes. He's I think hurt yet again. They need to. I think they need to consider parting ways with him. But that's just my opinion.
I do too.
They trade for Kenyon Drake. Okay, I mean he's not. He's not the flashiest running back, but he's been getting the job done for the Arizona Cardinals. But what I would say is that this is fairly simple. You stop Kyler Murray and you stop the whole Arizona Cardinal offense. So I expect the Steelers to bring the, I don't want to say the kitchen sink, but I think they're going to bring some heat to Kyler Murray. And they're going to do it in a lot of different ways too, because Bryce, that's the Steeler way, right? You don't just see one or two different types of blitz packages from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to come at you in all different ways.
Yeah, and you'll see the kitchen sink out there too.
Yeah, it may be every now and then when they don't expect it. But for the most part, I think the Steelers will bring some heat. By the way, congrats to Troy Polamalu. I mean, come on, who didn't know that he was going to make that NFL 100 team?
Yeah.
That the NFL Network's been revealing.
In no certain order, by the way, so they don't have to be held accountable in no certain order.
Yeah, did Troy make it?
Yes,
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
I thought he did.
Yeah,
because there was a dust up because he hadn't been revealed yet.
You know what? Let me double check before I give him all the credit.
But
so let me look.
So, while he's looking that up, when you talk about this game there, Bryce, I'm going to tell you, I think we are going to see a lot coming at him. And what I think I see also, as far as Pittsburgh is concerned, the aggressive nature of that defense going at a guy like that. I think there's a difference. Just if you look at Buffalo and Baltimore today, Buffalo is going to be all over him. They're going to sell out. Listen, Buffalo is going to sell out to Lamar Jackson. They're going to say, you beat us through the air, and we will stop you on the ground. That's what they're going to say because of the aggressive nature of that defense. And that's what you get with the Steeler defense. And you got the same game going on here in reality.
Yeah, I mean, you make this team with this offensive line have to run the football. I mean, I think on the other side, Pittsburgh is not an elite offense by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm sure the Cardinals are thinking this is a game we can win.
Yep.
But the issue, I think, when teams have to understand where you get a lot of what I like to call hidden yardage is the fact that Pittsburgh has a top 10 offensive line. So it doesn't look like they're doing much, but if their line starts getting it going, they can control the game because they've got 3 Pro Bowlers up there. And that's where Pittsburgh has to win games on offense with their offensive line. I think Duck Hodges is an interesting guy at quarterback because he does some Roethlisberger-like things. I mean, obviously he's not bad, but he can extend the play. He's got good accuracy on the deep ball. I think he's got to work on trusting the pocket and standing a little more.
Yes.
But he's a little bit better than what people would think he is, and he's got a great mentality. I think him and Mason Rudolph are both tough guys. I don't think they're soft. I think they play with a lot of grit, which is what you need. And I think if you're playing behind a top offensive line, him being able to buy time can give his receivers more time to get open. Similarly, this works in Arizona's favor because, listen, I like Kirk and, Larry Fitzgerald. I don't care how old he is. You better put bodies on him.
Absolutely.
Because 50-50 balls, Larry Fitzgerald is still a top 5 guy to me. You put that ball up there, he's going to go get it. So you better make sure your corners don't get into a lot of one-on-one situations down the field. Pittsburgh is playing real well at the corners, but Larry Fitzgerald is a Hall of Fame player. So they got to get Kyler Murray, like Cuervo said, on the ground, focused on him, kind of like you said, Sonny, and don't let him get going because they do have some guys, even if it's not in the run game, that can hurt you in the pass game.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, real quick, when you're looking at the game, I mean, I don't think it's a tough game to pick in reality, because I think
No.
we can see sellout from the Pittsburgh defense to say, beat us a different way, because you're not going to do it by your legs. So I'm on Pittsburgh on this one, because I think they're the better team, obviously, and not only that, desperation for a playoff spot. They need this game. Now, listen, I'm not under no illusion. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a good okay, they're a good football team. They're not a great football team that wins will win a game in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, but they need it to still be there. All right, and now also, that we're getting Coach of the Year considerations. Great, wonderful. I think it should be Pete Carroll. Now, I know it, but I'm going to tell you right now, if he's going to be in consideration right there, but more so the team itself, I think needs to do this, not for Tomlin. I think the team needs to do this to show that they can do it without Ben. And there is something to prove here as far as that's concerned, because sooner or later they are going to go away from Ben Cuervo, and they're going to have to come up with something. And the fact that they haven't come up with an answer and they're still in contention in the playoffs here in week 14, I'm going to tell you right now, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Question: what is the Steelers' record? I'm trying to remember. What is the Steelers' record? Are they 7-5?
7-5. 7-5.
7-5.
Is it a stretch to ask, why isn't Mike Tomlin getting any consideration for Coach of the Year? You think about everything that the Steelers have gone through this year, right? With losing Ben Roethlisberger, which, by the way, Bryce, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a blessing in disguise, man, because now the Steelers know what life will be like after Ben. They have gotten a taste of it. And for them to be 7-5, you as a Steeler fan, you should be satisfied. Maybe not.
Oh, I am.
Well, maybe not totally blown away or just singing the praises of Mike Tomlin. But man, for them to be 7-5 with all the injuries that they've gone through and the whole with Antonio Brown and all this other nonsense that they've had to deal with. Yeah, they're 7-5, but at the same time, Mike Tomlin you couldn't ask for more as a Steeler fan for the way he's been able to keep this thing together. So now I know, let's be real. I know he's not going to win Coach of the Year because of the record. But I tell you, for being in the trenches with the organization and his players and his team, that's I just don't get why Mike Tomlin hasn't been talked about least. I
don't know if he hasn't been talked about, because I have heard that, and believe me, I don't do a lot of reading. I'll catch it here and there, as far as, because I don't like to have the outside media affect this. I want this to be genuine, so I don't hear a lot of it. But I think I have heard that some people are talking about him as far as that. By the way, just found out Troy Polamalu was snubbed off that top 100.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about too. So Troy didn't make it. However, the Steelers were nicely represented with two corners, Mel Blount, for you old school guys.
Old school.
And the more recent Rod Woodson. Look, Rod Woodson played for a few teams, but damn it, to me, he will always be a Steeler. Those were his best years in Pittsburgh. So
yeah, he had some good years. I hate to say it, he had some good years in Baltimore as a safety, but yeah, definitely as a Steeler. So a couple things. In terms of the Steeler, Mike Tomlin and the Steeler record and Coach of the Year. One, so it's Arizona, Buffalo at home, primetime game, the Jets in New York, and then Baltimore. Baltimore aside, because remember, Baltimore, by the time that game comes around, who's to say Baltimore's playing for anything?
Yeah,
I mean, so there is a realistic chance the Pittsburgh Steelers end up 10-6, or even better, 11-5. So to me, Mike Tomlin definitely has my lead for Coach of the Year. Now, I had to come on this show a couple times and eat crow because of Sonny talking about his Jaguars, and I was like, oh, years, but I like your Jaguars. And Blake Bortles just stunk it up. So, Cuervo, we need to go into Sonny's house right now and find where he's keeping the drugs because he wanted Pittsburgh to fire Mike Tomlin.
I did.
And now Mike Tomlin.
Hey, listen. Just because a blind dog will find a bone every once in a while, I still stay up on that one. So drug test.
Well, he went needle.
And let's do it.
Needle.
Cuervo, I told you when he said it, he needed to be drug tested, and he still sticks by it, even when Mike Tomlin has got this team on the verge of a playoff berth and a possible 10-6, 11-5 record. He's still saying, Tomlin should be fired.
Hey, whoa. Hold on. Listen. Before you anoint them as an 11-5 football team, let's see if they can get past this week. Because if they drop the ball against Arizona, okay, and I don't think they will. I'm picking the Steelers. But you also got to understand they got those two games. Will they have something to play for? I got news for you. This is the AFC North. Even they'll play the Cincinnati Bengals hard. That's what this division of football is. It's almost like
we're in 2003.
These are knockdown, drag out, slobber knockers of football games, regardless of what any team's record is. So now, will they have something to play for? No, but at the same time, all A game all the time from Pittsburgh is what has to happen. And sometimes we don't get all A game from Pittsburgh. They have those letdown games, and that, and let's be honest, you can't have it against Baltimore because Baltimore will expose what you got going on. And if it is a running quarterback or whatever, or if they figure out how they can run against them and be successful, they got to stop this guy. They got to make sure, because I'm going to tell you right now, who's going to have more film on this game than anybody? It's going to be Baltimore. All right, because Baltimore, they're going to be seeing that and go, wow, look what Kyler Murray did. We can do that too. So they're definitely going to be scouting this one big time.
Wait, hold on. Red light, Sonny. Red light. Put a stop to it for a second. I've never ever said Pittsburgh is going to go 11-5 or even 10-6. I'd say he's got this team on the verge of that, despite everything that's gone on. I've called in. Cuervo, I think you can be a witness to this. I've talked about injuries, but I've never used that as a main reason why Pittsburgh was losing. I've never done that. I don't like to do that. I think Jerry Jones has shown, sure, a lot of people are good at 1 to 22 on a roster. To have a consistent championship winner, you have to be good at 22 to 54.
Absolutely.
That's where you do it. And so I think injuries, while important, you got to be able to plug guys in. Mike Tomlin has done that better than anyone this year. He's got this team not only on the verge of that record. Right. But he's also, aside from last year, which I thought he was bad, to me, he's done that in multiple years, having this team prepared and ready as a contender. Now, a couple of things you got to think about too. People are talking Baltimore. Could they slip up against the Bills? The Bills play a certain style of football that's tough to beat. It's tried and true. Defense is going to be well coached, out of this world. Offense has got a strong-armed quarterback that can get out of the pocket. They've got some skilled guys. Lamar Jackson, if you look at defenses that have done well against him, the Niners, the Steelers, Buffalo's kind of in that vein. Don't just automatically assume, as of right now, that Baltimore's going to run the table. So, yeah, they may not have anything to play for at the end, but they could actually have to play hard in order to lock things up. Absolutely. Because they're not about stumbling these next game or two. They've got some tough ones. I'm just saying.
Well, the tough ones that they're going to have to deal with, Tennessee, okay? They're going to have to fight that battle. Baltimore, listen, the Bills have wrapped up one of those wild cards. That's happening. I don't think there's any question about that. As far because their schedule works it that way. Just as where most men, but You just a couple. You have Tennessee that you have to worry about. You still have to worry about Oakland and or Kansas City within there. I think Pittsburgh has an opportunity to do it, but it's going to have to be balls to the wall all the time, because I think the team they're going to have to fight is going to be either Tennessee and or Houston, because one of those two teams are going to win that North, and then the other one will slide down and be going for that wild card spot. And either one of them, those schedules set up nicely for them to continue on and playing well. So Pittsburgh, a little bit tougher road to get to there to get it. So interestingly enough, yes, it's great to say now, and just to backtrack this just a little bit, pulling that out, just because, if they would have gotten rid of him, who knows where they would be right now as far as Mike Tomlin is concerned. All right, we don't know where he'd be. All right, but that blind dog finds a bone every once in a while, comes into play big time, because listen, Bryce, you and I and Cuervo might next year be talking about a football team that can't win 4 or 5 games. And then you're going to ask yourself, maybe we should have made that change a few years back. Maybe we could have had that right coach. Now, I don't know. I think
you believe in Cuervo?
Cuervo, you're shaking your head. You're a liar. I'm telling you, Cuervo's lying, because he was on the couch with me on saying, yeah, maybe they should give some thought on making that move.
Give some thought. But I didn't speak the
Cuervo, you might think about doing the drugs, but you're not supposed to do them.
No. I can't. No.
Let me ask you this, Cuervo. Let me ask you this, you and Sonny, because Sonny said the Bills are a lock. Cuervo, what happens with the Bills if they lose this week and then come into Pittsburgh, which is likely? No, I don't want to say likely, but which could happen, and lose to Pittsburgh? They lose 2 in a row. Do they still lock up a playoff spot?
I'm thinking of the teams in the other divisions. That's why I'm like, I haven't answered right away. Let's see, AFC West, you got what, Kansas City and
Oakland.
Yeah, the Raiders, I guess.
Yep.
Down
Houston,
south, you got
Indianapolis over in the south, and the north. You already got that locked up. I don't think anybody else is coming out of there. So then you have New England and them. So
Buffalo still has a shot just because of their weak schedule that they've played. And I get it. You can only play who you have on your schedule. But what I will say, and we talked about this earlier before you came on, Bryce, is if they lose today to Baltimore and then they lose next week to the Steelers, that'll just validate our point.
And then, and to validate it, they got to go into Gillette the week after that. This is what the NFL does. It shatters dreams, because Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England, and listen, you're not going to get past that Jet game as an easy game either at the end of the season. So that the NFL killing those dreams maybe of the Buffalo Bills.
There is a chance, guys, a chance. If Pittsburgh can handle business tonight, they've got the 2 tough games. They've got the Bills, and then you come to New York. It's going to be a lot of Steeler fans here for the Jets game. There is a chance that it could be Pittsburgh, who by the final game of the season has nothing to play for, because they've already locked up the 5th seed if the Bills lose 3 games in a row, which that could happen.
Absolutely.
Can you believe that? Pittsburgh, the way they started, could actually by year's end not have anything to play for in the final game if they lock up the 5th seed before that. It could be them that's resting players. How crazy is that?
That is.
So the Steelers, I think the Steelers are going to be that team this year, Bryce. Your Steelers are going to be that team that going into week 17, they're going to have like a 5% chance of making the playoffs, right? And then it's possible that the scenario plays out that by the end of the day, they're the 6th seed. How in the world that happens, I don't know. But let me tell you, it's happened before. It happened before. I think it was, 2 years ago, right, when the Bills made it?
It was 2015. They needed the Jets to lose, and they had to beat the Browns.
Right. Well, and not just with the Steelers specifically, but I think it was actually the Buffalo Bills 2 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
Cincinnati had to
exactly
win.
what it was.
Some other team had to lose, and something like 3 different things had to happen. And I'll be damned if all 3 things didn't happen. And the Bills went from like a 9% chance of making it to now they're the 6th seed going into Jacksonville.
Yep. All right. So Cuervo, are you on Pittsburgh, or are you going to go the other way and head to Arizona, as Tarvin and my brother also went Arizona?
No, I'm a ride with my guy Bryce, man. Steelers, baby.
I think
Steelers.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to Pittsburgh Steelers too. They're the better team without question. All right, now I'm going with
the Steelers. No letdown from Tomlin.
Yep. All right, now that being said, we got 20 minutes. We are going to rocket through those. How long are you going to hang on, Bryce? You're going to hang on through the rest?
I'm going to hang on. Yep.
All right, let's pop through them because we got to do a quick 20 minutes mini games to get by. We just had a lot of fun today. So that being said, let's head on into the next one that's up on the board. Quick reaction. Let me hit that button right there. Let's bring it in. Indianapolis taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Listen, I hate to say it, but this is all about coaching in reality when you go down in this game, okay? All right, and Tampa Bay, listen, you got a turnover machine in Jameis Winston, but you also got a great coach that's helping them out. Right now, Tampa Bay, they're just throwing the ball over the place, and what they're saying in reality is that we're going to take those shots downfield. We're going to go ahead and throw some interceptions. We're going to depend upon our defense to try to help us win as well. I'm on Tampa Bay in this one in reality when you take a look at it, because Indianapolis, they're just losing. There's guys falling off of the field every 10 seconds. They're missing about 4 starters in reality on offense. I think, and Jacoby Brissett, wonderful. Everybody could be happy for him. Listen, he's adequate. But with so many pieces missing, Cuervo, I don't think they could get the victory in Tampa Bay here today. So I'm on the Bucs.
Yeah, a lot of people are picking Tampa, and I'm kind of scratching my head wondering why. Colts are
injuries to key people in reality, Cuervo. Eric Ebron's gone. We don't know if we're going to get the wide receiver. His name's slipping my mind. Yeah, I know Bryce knows off the top of his head. Yeah, yes. So, these guys.
That is a big injury.
Yes, so, and I don't know what his actual status is, but he can't be 100%. If he didn't play last week, he's going to come back at best 85, and that might not be enough either. So they're missing some key opponents. Again, Tampa Bay's not a good football team, but they got a good coaching staff. I'd rather take the coaching staff in this one, and that's the reason why I'm hitting on Indianapolis or Tampa Bay.
Sonny, makes sense now. Makes sense why people are taking Tampa Bay. Do I have enough confidence in Jameis, though? I don't know. Bryce, help me out. I need some help, man.
Man,
how about this? He's got a 1-2 punch, and if he only throws 2 interceptions in this game, they win the game because he can get the ball to the 1-2 punch. Those wide receivers, I'm going to tell you right now, Mike Evans and that other cat that's just been ripping it up for the last 3 weeks are getting downfield, and that's coaching. That's getting your guy open. What do you got to do in order for Jameis Winston to spot you open? And that's coaching. Now, Jameis Winston has to recognize it, but what the coaching does, it opens it up to where he can see it. And I think that's where we're getting James. This guy's throwing down the field more than I've ever seen Bryce throw in his career. And again, he'll throw that interception, but it's almost like a punt at the same time. So it doesn't really kill it at the same time either. So yeah, it's a bad interception, but man, if he catches that ball down the field, puts him in good field position, gets him in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, I like the skills that Jameis brings. He's just never figured it out in terms of turning the football over.
Yep, turnover machine.
And those are, and those are killers. One thing I like about the Colts is that I think they're a very well coached bunch, not just in certain aspects of the game, but in all aspects of the game. And is this game in Indianapolis?
No, Indianapolis is on the road. This game's in Tampa.
Indianapolis is on the road. Okay. So I like what Marlon Mack brings. I think Jacoby Brissett outplays Jameis Winston. And despite Tampa Bay having a couple bigger names like a Mike Evans, I think Devin White's really come on board and played well these last few weeks. I think overall Indianapolis is the better team. I'm going with the Colts.
Cuervo.
You sold me, Sonny. No Ebron, no T.Y. Hilton. Brissett's got nobody to give the ball to.
Jack Doyle. Look out for Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle not only is on my fantasy team, Jack Doyle is a sneaky tight end.
Yeah, you know what? I have him as well. Matter of fact, I might put him in. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna. I think
Only weapon.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put him in, and let's see how he does for me.
Good.
But I meant to bench Dak and start Winston. Hopefully, it works out because it's first week of the playoffs in my league. So I'm the 1 seed. So fingers crossed that my team does well enough.
Right. So who are you picking? You going Tampa Bay or are you going to pick Indy? Yep, Tampa Bay. All right, very good. Tampa Bay for Cuervo. Next game that's up on board is this is not a big game that we need to really worry about in reality. Miami and the Jets. Jets take the loss last week. I did pick them. So, but that being said, they have been playing okay. Miami, they get the big win last week and just, taking the sails out of the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, my God. They had a chance to just take over the NFC least, and they blew it. Miami coming off that big victory. They are on the road. I'm just going Jets. I don't know who to pick in this, so I'm going to go the home team. And the Jets, out of the last 3 weeks, they played good, too. Let's see if they can make it 3 out of 4. I'm going Jets.
I'm going with the Dolphins. Le'Veon Bell was out this week. They have a real problem in terms of Bell. It just goes to show you that Adam Gase needs to go. I mean, he didn't want Le'Veon. Le'Veon's out with an illness. It's like he's.
I think he's over it. Illness? Is that what it is? Is it one of those?
Yeah, I think he's over it. I think actually. Listen, and you know what?
I listen. Beep beep beep. I'm going Miami. Listen, a quote unquote. No. And that just throws a monkey wrench in the whole damn thing. I'm right there with you, Bryce. I did not know about that. That just goes to show how much I listen. I probably would have known that. But since you said that, I'm backing out of that one like a bad habit. I'm a Dolphin fan today. Dolphins, Cuervo.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins.
Wait, so are you guys saying Le'Veon Bell is out today?
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell is out today with an illness. He don't want to play there anymore. And I think Le'Veon is actually a good teammate. He's been so disrespected and so dismissed by Adam Gase as head coach. He's probably like, listen, it's time to go. What can I do when the head coach doesn't want me here?
Oh, poor Le'Veon has the sniffles.
What? Really? Oh.
He's got the sniffles.
He's not feeling very good today.
I wanted to get Sonny started, and I'll be damned if it didn't work. I love Sonny's rants, Bryce. Let me tell you, I love it.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know. So, Cuervo, who are you going? Are you going Miami?
Coffee and Sonny's rants.
Yeah. So, are you going to go Miami, Cuervo? Or?
Yeah.
All right. So he's going Miami. We're all hanging on Miami. I'm not going to hit that sound effect. It hurt my ears. So I'm not going to hit the sound effect. For the next game that's up on board, Washington and Green Bay. Not a lot to talk about. Okay. Yeah. Great to see Washington do. I picked them and got a couple of wins on the lucky side. Listen. They're going to a magical place. Okay, that is Green Bay. And listen, Lambeau Field. If you're not ready, okay, you don't have a chance. And even when you are ready, sometimes you don't have a chance either. So that whole organization is not ready. Green Bay Packers, and I think we'll see a good game from Haskins, but it won't be enough because of what Green Bay is all about. So, Cuervo, what do you think about Green Bay at Washington? Or mark that. Switch it around. Washington and Green Bay.
I'm going to do my best impression of Bill Belichick here. Packers.
Bryce, who do you think?
I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, that's yeah. So see what happens. Everybody's on the Packers, by the way, up on that pick. The big game, and gosh, we're gonna run out of time. But the big game in the afternoon, San Francisco and New Orleans. Defense, offense. Who's got the better? I don't know. But the only thing I know is Drew Brees. Okay, listen, when everything else is equaling out, special teams, defense, what does that leave you? Got to figure out who's the better quarterback. Hey, Jimmy's playing very well. He's no Drew Brees, and he's not a champion. But this is what I'll say about this game, Bryce, in reality. If Jimmy Garoppolo is going to put himself on the map, this is a game he has to win. And listen, they're 10-2. I don't want to take that away from them, but at the same time, if you're going to be a good football team, you got to beat the good teams. And if that's where it's going to be, it goes in line. They had a good victory last week against a good football team. They need to continue it. Drew Brees does it all the time. So let's see if Jimmy can get it done. I don't think he does. And not only that, New Orleans is at home.
I agree with Sonny. I'm taking the Saints defense. They're going to get after Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jimmy can play, but I think Jimmy is prone to one or two mistakes that in this type of game can really come back at you like it did last game. And so I'm not even talking about the quarterbacks per se. I'm talking about the defenses. I think the Saints cause more problems for Jimmy than the 49ers do for Drew Brees. I'm going with the Saints.
Cuervo, this one's a tough one. I mean, you got two good football teams out there. And out of all the games that I was looking at these, I said, I think I can almost predict what Cuervo's going to say. This was one I couldn't.
Oh, Sonny thinks he knows me.
Well, pretty much, but this game. Not this game. I had no clue.
Yeah, this one's a pretty tough one. But I tell you what, is this an afternoon game? This is later?
Is. Afternoon.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, so the afternoon's going to be
great on Red Zone.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic with this one, and then you got Kansas City, New England. Oh, I mean that's the part of the day that I'm looking forward to is later on.
Yep.
But as far as this game is concerned, I think what I see. Look, Baltimore exposed the 49ers a little bit. I mean, look, the Niners don't have a lot of weaknesses, and they're pretty solid all around. But I think what the difference is just, and I kind of said it last week, was Baltimore was going to make just enough plays to get the win, and it came down to Tucker getting that field goal at the end. Yep. And the thing for me though is that it was a road game. Niners on the road again today. These are the type of games that if the 49ers want to get back to the Super Bowl, these are the games that they have to win, are games like today and games like last week. And they didn't get it done last week. And I don't think they're going to get it done again today. So, who dat nation?
Who dat nation? New Orleans at home. Good pick in reality. Next game that's up on board, a dog. Chargers and Jaguars. Dude, here it is. It convinced me, man, because God.
Oh,
this is the couch potato quarter is out, Jack, because I have no clue. Zero. I don't know what you're getting with Phillip Rivers. I know what I'm getting with the Jaguars. So I don't know if we're going to get an up game from the Chargers or not. I literally have no clue. But most people say that about me on 24/7. So, I don't know, Bryce. Convince me on who I should take before I flip this quarter.
I mean, I'm going to go with the Chargers. The Jaguars, Doug Marrone's going to get fired.
Think so?
At the end, I think he should. I think Shad Khan needs to clean house. I think he needs to get rid of Tom Coughlin. I think he needs to get rid of Doug Marrone. I think they need to go in a new direction. The fact that Nick Foles got all that money, now he's benched. I just feel those are things that aren't putting your franchise on the right direction. They've got a big decision to make if they're going to stick with Minshew. I like what he's done with the offense, but if you're going to go that route, I think you need a new regime and then build around Minshew. So, but I think
away my jersey, man. I'm telling you right now, if they go Minshew, I'm throwing away my jersey. I am not riding the motorcycle.
Yeah, he's not great. I mean, I think he does some good things.
Listen.
He's very Duck Hodges-like. Duck Hodges-like.
God. All right, let's just put it out there. That guy sucks. Okay, he goes up against a good football team. He's going to get torn a new rear end. We all know it. You want to love it. I mean, we got a great story here. That guy is not a good quarterback. Okay, give me Lamar Jackson. Okay, that's how bad this guy is. I'll take Lamar Jackson. Okay, I don't want him. Hell. No. I want a real quarterback to stand in the freaking pocket and play like a football player. Minshew is not that guy. He likes to run the football. The Jaguars need a quarterback, not a freaking sideshow in reality or a goofball, fair where you got those stupid looking people, weird people. That's what we get with him. Minshew is not a quality quarterback. And it's the reason why we're seeing the Jaguars that, and sometimes Sonny doesn't like to give guys chances. Okay. But I've seen enough of it. I've seen enough of where I know, and these are my team. There's no way I'm going to praise, keeping Minshew. I'd rather have Nick Foles. For God's sake. In healthy. Start the next season out with Foles. And if you're gonna keep Minshew, keep him in a backup role where he needs to be. But starting quarterback, no way. Not for the future of this football team. Maybe it is. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing what Bryce or anybody else sees. The guy sucks. Simple as that.
I think he's Duck Hodges-like. I'm not gonna. I mean, I think he's done some good things.
Sure,
I'm not going to say he sucks, but he's just
overall,
not. I don't think he's a franchise guy. But if they're going to go that route, then you might as well go all in.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, Cuervo. I'd rather have Cam Newton. Good God.
Oh, now see now wait a minute now.
I'd rather have Cam Newton than Minshew. You watch. In 3 years, we won't even know who the hell this guy is. He's going to be playing in some obscure league over in Europe, okay? This guy doesn't have NFL talent, and I don't know. Maybe I expect too much from the quarterback, but I'll tell you right now, when I think a guy sucks, he sucks. Okay, simple as that. We don't hear from him again, i.e. Brian Hoyer. Come on. I mean, good Lord. The guy has a couple of good games against teams like that means absolutely nothing. The games mean absolutely nothing. And here we are talking about the future with this guy. Come on, get a real quarterback. Get some guy with some skills. Get some guys with some stones that will stand in the pocket and throw the football. And that's what it is. I'll just say it. These quarterbacks that want to run, they don't have any stones. They don't get hit. And run away. Stand in the pocket, deliver the damn football, and be a good quarterback. But we don't get that. That's what we
preach.
Cam Newton would be great on the Jaguars.
Absolutely. I still want Teddy Bridgewater. That's who I want. I said it 2 years ago, Cuervo, didn't I? I said I want me some Teddy. And no one's listening to Sonny Clark, but I'm telling you right now, Teddy Bridgewater coming in for Drew. Hey. You damn right.
I like
That's
Teddy.
what they should have went. They should have called me and said, Sonny, we need a GM. And here, just help us with the quarterback position. They would have been in a better situation than they were, and they wouldn't have lost their defensive monster to the LA Rams.
Oh yeah,
it's horrible, terrible.
Bryce, we need to start the campaign on behalf of Sonny Clark.
On behalf of Sonny Clark,
Uncle Rico for quarterback. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Listen, Shad Khan, if you're listening, Shad, you're listening. To that being said, great sports show. You need to hire Sonny Clark as the GM of the
Absolutely.
Jaguars.
All right. And of course, we're going to go over, but sorry about that. Sonny's fault. Anyway, I'm just going to go Chargers just because I have no clue. I mean, I'll just go Phillip Rivers, and hopefully he won't throw 9 interceptions in this one. Cuervo?
Well, I'm going to ask. Oh, never mind. The game's in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Sonny, I'm going to go with your Jaguars.
Good luck.
Call me crazy.
You are.
Call me crazy.
All right. Yeah. That's going to be our new signal. Thanks, Bryce. You gave us something new on there. Hey, that's all credit to you. So you're going to take the Jaguars in this one, Bryce?
No, I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yeah, that's right. You did say Chargers.
Phillip Rivers is playing some of the worst football in his career. That's why I'm going
he can only get better today.
But he's still better than Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll take Phillip Rivers. Anyway, Kansas City and New England. Hey, listen, it's Gillette. Kansas City not consistent enough. And listen, Gillette's almost as bad as Lambeau. Okay. You don't go into that, and it doesn't even matter about the talent in reality. I'm all about New England in this one. I don't think they just got enough. And also coming off of that loss, remember, Bill Belichick doesn't lose 2 games in a row very often. I think he's only done it once in 11 years. So there you go, guys. It's as simple as that. They lost last week. I'm on the Patriots. How about you, Cuervo?
Patriots, Chiefs. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this show.
Absolutely.
Look, it's very rare that I pick against Tom Brady. And today's not that day.
Oh.
So, yeah, the anticipation, right? Yeah, I mean, look, I know that. Okay, I'll put it to you like this, guys. Because we're running out of time.
We'll go over hell with it.
The Patriots don't lose 2 games in a row, and it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
So New England will bounce back today, and they will go into Kansas City. I think it's in New England. They're back
it's
home,
New England
right?
and Gillette too. Yeah.
So they're back at home. Oh, Patriots.
Can we get some consistent play from the Chiefs to make this not such an obvious pick in reality? No, we're not. Because that's what the Chiefs are. I mean, listen, they'd be running away with the AFC West if that be the case with 10 games, just like anybody else. And we just lost. Went over in Blog Talk. We're off, but we're still right here. But I will tell you right now, an interesting game as far as that's concerned. Tennessee at Oakland. Tennessee flies cross country. They get the luxury of the afternoon game. That helps. The game's not really early, so they get about 4 or 5 hours to do whatever the heck they're going to do. That being said, Tennessee, they are fighting for that AFC South. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hate to say this, Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback of this football team. There is no question in my mind of who is the quarterback. And I'm not saying he's going to be there, but they're going to ride that Ryan Tannehill. And by the way, he's led the Miami Dolphins into some playoff games as well in the past. Didn't make him for very long, but he's got the experience. And they're gathering around this guy, Cuervo. Oakland, I'm still undecided. But Oakland, if you are going to be a competitor and a contender, you have to start at home against this team. And I don't think they're going to get it.
By the way, guys, this Niners-Saints game is happening right now. I thought it was an afternoon game, but they're going to play right now. So,
wow.
Anyways,
aside from that, it was an afternoon game too. Thank
you.
I
thought it was too. That would have been the ultimate afternoon schedule. But I lost my thought because I see Scott Hansen.
Tennessee at Oakland. I know. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah. I like the way the Titans have been playing. I like the way Derrick Henry. This is the time of the year that Derrick Henry turns into, Walter Payton or Eric Dickerson, just out of nowhere, and he starts running the ball like a madman. So, and that's good for the Titans. Too little, too late though. I don't see them making the playoffs this year. But
I do.
I like the way Tennessee's playing.
I think they're going to sneak in. I think they're going to break the Steelers' heart. Sorry, Bryce. I think they're going to break the Steelers' heart. I really do.
No, not happening. Sorry, not with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Ryan Tannehill's been playing better. That's not why I'm picking the Titans. It's that beast at tailback they have. They give it to him. He just wears people down. I think the Raiders have played actually inspired football this year. I give credit to them, but it's not going to be enough. I just feel that the Titan offense has such an identity. Plus, I'm not a Titans fan per se, but I love watching them smack around the Jaguars. I really do. They get up to I love division rivalry games, and I love to see rivals play physical football, and they can't wait to run the football against the Jaguars. It's like they're just salivating. But I'm going to pick the Tennessee Titans. I do like the way they play. They're an interesting team to watch because they're very physical. So I like
that's
that.
Mike Vrabel. Vrabel pulled those guys together big time. I just you can't say enough about what he's done for this team. You want to talk about a good coaching job? You know, you can. There are a lot of good candidates for Coach of the Year. You can't even throw Vrabel out in that thinking. So Cuervo, who do you have? Are you gonna take the Raiders, or are you gonna hang with the Tennessee Titans?
I'm going Tennessee.
Everybody's on Tennessee as well. Now, this is the game that I wish we had more time. Of course, we just have too much fun on the show. That's the problem. The Seattle Seahawks go on the road to take on the Rams, and boy, are the Rams just lost. They are in oblivion, guys. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what has happened, but no, mark that. I know what happened. They got a bunch of individual players on this team making a lot of money, and they don't care anymore. And especially in Todd Gurley's case, I'm talking that's bitch slapping you all over the face. I got the money. It's guaranteed. Not only that, Goff, same thing. These guys got their money. They're wrapped. They don't care anymore. They're not trying to get that big contract. Why? Because they already got it. And there's something when you take away that motivation to try to get that money, and then when you get it, how many times have we seen a guy sign that big contract and we don't see him again? And that's what's happening. And not only that, they won't be able to do anything in the draft in the first round until 2021, for God's sake. They're in a lot of trouble. And I don't see a lot. And right now, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting it on the board. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I am on Seattle today.
Whoa. Okay.
All around. They got a running game when they want it. Sometimes it's not great, but they got two guys that might be able to try to do it. Hey, when you got Russell Wilson, the experience is there, Super Bowl caliber dude. That defense, by the way, is one of the best. You want to talk about the best kept secret in the NFL? It's the Seattle defense. They're playing really well. They're not hitting those numbers where you go, oh my God, look at that. They're winning the football games. Now, are they winning by a big stretch? No, but when in the NFL do you really, if you're a good, you blow out teams, you're in a division where it's competitive. They're all going to be close. The question is what side that tick comes under, the W or the L, and most of them are coming in there. And not only that, when you take a look at the division, if San Francisco goes down the way we think that he's going to, they get this win today, they get that one game stretch over on the top of them as well. And then you have the other team, San Francisco, battling and probably end up with that wild card. So I think Seattle, I love that. They're a complete team in reality, all shapes and fat. The only deficit they got is the consistency at the running back, but they got two or three of them that can do the job and fake it out enough and let Russell Wilson try. And it's going to be on the shoulders of him. Every football team, it's on the quarterback shoulders in reality to get you to the Super Bowl in reality. So that's why I think. So I'm on Seattle. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams have been so inconsistent that it's hard to pick them in a big game like this. Yep. So I like, I'm a roll with Seattle as well. And here's the thing about, you made the comment about running back, Sonny. In today's game, you don't really need a dominant. It's a bonus to have a dominant type running back like a Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. But you look at teams like Seattle, they don't have if you have two, maybe even a third guy that can just be consistent, a running back by committee type style of backfield.
That's all you really need to do in reality to make the play action work.
There you go. And so the fact that Seattle's running game has been inconsistent it's kind of irrelevant in my opinion, because Russell Wilson is the reason that they're playing so damn well. And that is my MVP vote right now.
I agree. I'm on it. I'm riding it with you. Bryce, who you got in this one?
I got the Seahawks. I think the Rams. The Rams are a good team, but the problem with the Rams is they have to play a certain way to win. They don't offer a lot of versatility in terms of beating you in different ways. They have to run the football with Gurley, then they play pass off of that, build their passing game off the run game. Very, a tried and true way, but very almost old school football. They don't have a lot of versatile ways to beat you, like switching styles and switching tempo and having a different personality. They have their personality, and that's the way that they have to win. Consequently, that's why I think Pittsburgh can do well. But the same thing, like they have to win. They have to win one or two ways, and that's it. Which the teams that can beat you multiple ways are the most dangerous, and that's not the Rams. That's more Seattle. I'm going to go with Seattle.
Seattle win by either field goal or touchdown. That's it. That's the way it ends up happening. And the fact that and on the road, when you pull those division games off on the road, boy, it just makes your season that much better. And going up against the other team in this division in San Francisco and getting the win in San Francisco was big for them too. So they're doing what they need to do. The check's under the W. Now New York in Philly. God, is the NFC East that bad? Jeez Louise, I've never seen anything like it. And so bad that I don't know if I don't know if it's real injury or I don't know if I'm buying it or not.
We've seen this before though.
I think they're bringing Eli to shop him and see what they can get for him. So go out there, my man, make a play, see what you can do. God, Philadelphia is not playing good football. And what is happening is that games last week was a pathetic performance. It was pathetic. The Philadelphia Eagles had no business losing that football game last week. And I don't know if I was going to pick who's going to win, the Dolphins or the Giants. I think I'd probably pick the Dolphins, but it wouldn't be by much. And the difference, I think the difference in this game is Eli. God, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think Eli Manning is the reason why that because the Philadelphia Eagles can't win the football team. And guess what? You don't have to be a great quarterback to really expose that secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, they've been showing it all year and Eli doesn't have to be perfect. I think this is my surprise pick. I'm taking the Giants. Just because that's the way that this division is going to work out, because I think the Cowboys somehow are going to pull this out. I can't say what Tarvin said about how lucky the Dallas Cowboys are, but let's just say it was a little bit raunchy, but it was right. They are so lucky. I've never seen anything like it. And even if they win this game, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cowboys still have the lead in the division because they have the victory so far against them until, of course, next week. I think it just sets up for that game. I'm taking the New York Giants in this one with a little bit of Eli luck, maybe. I don't know, but I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna a winger out there. That's what it is, Bryce. I don't trust the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm not saying I can trust the Giants, but we already know who they are. We know who the Giants are, Danae. But the Philadelphia Eagles should not be right now. They should running away with this division, especially after the Dallas Cowboys went down on Thanksgiving Day and they just dropped the ball.
Yeah, this division is terrible. We have seen this before. Remember the NFC South had a division winner a couple years ago, the Panthers at 7-8-1. The NFC West, they had, Seattle was 7-9, got into the playoffs and won. So, we've seen this bad football before. I'm going to take the lesser of the two evils here. That would be the Eagles. Eli Manning is a statue back there. And you talk about we know who teams are. Well, we do know from the Eagles. is that they will line up in that 4-3 defense with those wide 9 ends, and they're going to get after you. And Eli is a statue back there. The Giant offensive line has gotten better, but still is not a great offensive line. So I suspect the Eagles will be able to put pressure on Eli. I'm going with the Eagles.
Hey, Bryce just said that Eli has concrete issues, and I've been saying that for years. In reality, so I get it. I get it, but change of pace, man. It's amazing what happens when you get a shot in the arm or something good like B12. So they, I don't know. Maybe can Eli be B12 for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the season, Cuervo, and get the victory against Philly? Where are you hanging on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use the word by default. Oh God, the Packers just scored. Anyway,
pathetic.
Yeah, it's pathetic. But almost by default, I don't want to use that word though, just because the Giants are just that bad. I'm taking the Eagles.
Terrible. If I could play they're terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah, and I get it that the Eagles secondary stinks, but Eli Manning stinks even more. Absolutely. So you go with the one that stinks less. And that would be the Eagles and their secondary. So,
all right,
Carson Wentz will get it done.
I want to, but I hate when people make good points. Shush, man. I'm on Philly. God, I'm gonna regret that. You watch Eli Manning come out and win that football game, but I'm with you. They're the better football. They should win this game. They're at home. They should win this game. They better do it. Cuervo, for your sake, I'm glad you're lucky you're in California, because if they lose this game, I'm gonna come back and say I told you so.
I'm gonna make a deal with you, Sonny.
Okay.
The Giants win. I will bow to the great Sonny Clark.
Well, no, I backed off, and I'm going to go Philly. I can't do it. I want to.
The reason I say that is because the Giants were your original pick.
Yeah, well, yeah. You
originally wanted, so that was your first concept.
Or the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night, Cuervo.
Sonny, stick with the courage of your convictions. With the Giants. I know. How about the best? How about it was so.
I'm normally with Bryce. I'm normally with that, but it's Eli Manning. God. It's he. You know how you have those weights and you put a little weight in something and it starts going up and down like this. And when you put Eli Manning on it, it just goes down like this, man. It's just unbelievable how bad this guy can be at times, and I don't know if time on the bench will help him or not, but obviously the better team, the better quarterback, but also better offensive line. Listen, the Eagles got a good offensive line in reality. Now Carson Wentz just has to deliver the football, and he hasn't been very successful at that so far. Because we were talking about him being a god not more than a year ago, or 2 years ago. Look at what he did. If it wasn't for Nick Foles, they wouldn't have got there. There's no question in my mind they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. I don't believe in him either. And that's another thing. If Carson Wentz gets his, behind handed to him, with a big hit from some of those defensive backs from New York, we might not see him in the game. So, it's just all about going fragile. Eli, God, this is a horrible Monday Night Football. Why didn't they flex out of this one, Cuervo? This is a horrible football game on Monday Night Football in week 14.
They can't flex. They can't flex out of Monday night. They can't flex out of Monday Night Football.
Oh, they can't?
Nope, only Sunday.
NBC can do the Sunday night games. They can flex out of that, but not ESPN. Don't do that.
Well, when they set this up, don't they know it's the Giants? For God's sake, they suck. I mean, goodness gracious! You look at this. Hey, look at the schedule. Jeez, look at the schedule. There are better games on this schedule. My God.
But Sonny, every team in the NFL has to have the opportunity to embarrass themselves on national TV. And tomorrow it's going to be the
Anyway, it is what it is. God.
Cuervo, I know you were excited about your Bears beating the Cowboys. I was so excited my Steelers to beat the Browns and end their playoff hopes. I told you, Sonny, it was going to happen, and it did.
Yep.
You didn't it?
That was a good win for you guys.
It tastes so good. You know, you gotta get it. So, well, guys, we went over, which I love doing, by the way. That means we're just having a good time. Not that the show's good, but we're
knocking on the end zone door.
So as long as that's happening, I don't mind going over, because there are 3 other quarters that play in those early games that we can watch. And by the way, how's Green Bay doing? No, I'm just messing with you, Cuervo. So
touchdown 49ers. So this Saints-Niners game is off to a fast start, guys. It's tied at 7. Garoppolo just got it in the end zone.
Interesting.
So,
Cincinnati is up on the Browns 3-0 already. I love it. If Cincinnati beats the Browns, my season will be complete. Oh, I would love it.
I hate taking a pick and watching the first part of the game going, oh man, I should have never done that. And then you're standing up yelling, yeah, baby, yeah. When they get back into it.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland to win it, but I would love to see the Bengals. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, going with the Chiefs. Did we talk about that game?
You guys did. I didn't give my pick.
Oh,
going with the Chiefs.
Thank you. I'll write it down. I put New England. I wrote it. I put it down. So you're going Chiefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Hey, we'll find out if Patrick.
My upset of the week.
We're gonna find out if Patrick Mahomes is the man. Because listen, if you go into Gillette, I don't care how old Tom Brady is. I'm so sick of hearing this crap about how old he is. Who gives a rip? The guy's quality quarterback. You go into Gillette and you beat Tom Brady in Gillette, you are a man. I'm telling you right, you are a man if you go in there and do something to those guys. I'm telling you right now. And listen, I don't even care what their record is. Patrick Mahomes has something to prove here. If he is going to be the main, he is the reigning MVP. Let's see if you got it. And you go into Gillette and you hand it to Tom Brady. Listen, I got news for you. That's something that you can build on for the rest of the season because you need momentum. Cuervo, we talk about momentum all the time going into the playoffs, and they need this game, and that would help them immensely going into the playoff time.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. So, I mean, and that's what teams, that's how, like, for example, when teams that back into the playoffs, even the bye week teams, they back into the playoffs. And what I mean by that is, they lose their last 2 games or something like that. That's always a sign of a team that's going to be one and done because it happens every year.
Yep. So
the teams that I like to watch are the wild card teams that are on a hot streak. Those are the teams you got to watch out for. Because those are the teams that always make noise in the postseason every single year.
And I hate to admit, the Giants are one of those teams. Remember, they went to the freaking Super Bowl and won on a 7-9 record.
9-7, 60 went to the Super Bowl. So I'll tell you right now, if Bryce's Pittsburgh Steelers run the table the rest of the year and they get in, watch out.
If they do that, that means Duck is playing good. So you better hope for that. I think it has to happen, Bryce. Right?
Yeah, I think Duck. Yeah, you're right, Sonny. I think Duck has to play efficient football in order for them to do it. But on top of that, they need their offensive line to continue and to be on the rise and to play like a top 5 offensive line, which I believe they are.
Hey, Duck is like Dak, man. I'm telling you right now, if he goes in and he makes it just energizes the whole damn team. And they're a total different team. Look at what happened with Tony Romo and Dak. When Dak came in, man, they gathered around this guy like he was Jesus. Sunday, geez, they thought this guy was the second coming. Same thing. You see it all over the NFL, and it happens all the time. And it's usually in a leadership position, whether it be the defensive back, that being the big linebacker coming in, making big plays and taking over, or the quarterback in reality. So those are those big spots where you go in and you can change the whole chemistry of a football team just by making a personnel move to a guy that's got the high hand, and if they continue it, watch out. And that's
I like Dak Prescott. I think he's a talented guy, but the Cowboys are a complete joke.
Yeah, that's coaching. That's not Dak. I listen to all this stuff, and they're talking about how Dak.
Wait, Sonny. Yes, I agree. But what I agree with more is that it is the owner and GM.
Well, yeah,
he's the problem.
Yeah, well, the owner is in here. I mean, he's got this thing right here, and Jerry's got. Listen, when that camera's not on, hey, go deep down the field. It's time to do it, there, Jerry. He's in his ear. I don't believe it for a second that he's not.
The problem with Jerry Jones is ego, but is Jerry Jones thinks of himself more than what he is as a GM. Absolutely. Jerry Jones has done a good job with 1 to 22. The Cowboys have a talented roster from 1 to 22. He does not know how to build a football team from 22 to 54. That's where championships and sustainability are. That's where you separate teams like the Cowboys and the Jaguars from the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Patriots.
Yep.
22 to 54. Jerry Jones has been a very bad GM from 22 to 54. He should have fired himself a long time ago. He has picked his guy coach, which is why he won't fire him, because that's his guy. This is about Jerry Jones's ego. And he's like, I'm going to prove to you that I'm not only am a great owner, but I'm a great football man. And he's not.
He's got to be a part of the solution, or he's not going to be that guy. And of course, he's been trying to be a part of the solution for over 20 years and haven't got the job done. So any other GM lasting as long as Jerry Jones would, just no way. But then again, that's what happens when you own. But at the same time, he has to be the guy that brings the team together to makes them the champions. And that's what it is. And that's what happened with Jimmy Johnson back in the day. They weren't good because of what Jerry Jones did. They were good because of what Jimmy Johnson did. And I will tell you straight out, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be talking about the Dallas Cowboys having 5 championships in reality. It would be maybe 2 or 3. So at that point, Cuervo, sometimes your ego gets in the way of what the success of your team can be. But at the same time, when you're that big and you got that big of it, and you do what you do in marketing, and you're $1 billion, $3 billion, at least almost $4 billion. If he sold the team right now, he could get $5 billion for the Dallas Cowboys, and he didn't pay nothing for this football team when he got him. So he's a branding expert.
Something like that.
Huh?
I think he bought it for like $500 million.
Yeah, I think it was something stupid compared to today's money. I mean, but it was big money back in that day. I
got to get off the line, but it's been great.
All right, Bryce. Always good to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us, and I'll send you whenever you get a chance to join us. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks,
Take
guys.
care, my friend.
Denzel Ward, pick 6.
Who?
Touchdown Cleveland. Denzel Ward with a pick 6 for the Browns.
The pick's still alive. Anyway, but hey, we did it. I mean, geez, we almost went a half hour, but that just means we're having a ball, having fun. And what I'll do this week, where
I have a comment though, Sonny. Before we sign off, I do have a comment on what you guys were just talking about.
Okay.
Jerry Jones does the same thing that most Cowboy fans do. They live off their success of 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Nobody gives a rat's fat butt anymore about that, as you like to say.
No one cares. So. Hell, they don't even care about the legends there anymore. But hey, Cuervo, one last question, and I'll let you go. And this is what the Dallas Cowboys have been doing.
I'm listening, Sonny, but I got somebody at the door. So Go ahead and fire away.
What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over, and then you expect a different result.
There's your Dallas Cowboys. Everybody have a good one.
That's
We'll
right.
catch you next time.